Alright. And there it is. There it is. Here we go. It's time. Now I need to just double check to make sure the stream's running properly, but it should be working, which is great. I have some quality H2O prepared for today, so I should be good to go. So let's log on in. Wait. There we go. Wasn't clicked into the game. There we go. Here we are. I hope you're ready, because it's time for the final stream of DDLC Plus. Most likely the final stream. And someone, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Glad to see you arrived. I was just chatting over on Discord because I was like, yeah, I should probably. Really glad you did that poem, or are you? Again, frankly, I am not sure it turned out all that good, but I mean, I do try to follow through on the requests I get. After all, it would be rude of me to just not follow through. I have those rewards for a reason. And Fastback! Hello, welcome to the stream. Early today, I see. Final DDLC stream for a while. Hope you're ready. So today, we're gonna be doing Balance Part 2, and then Reflection and Self-Love, both parts. I'm gonna just jump straight into Balance, and after we're done with all the side stories, we'll check through the mail and the pictures again, just to make sure we've seen everything. Electronic dance music, I mean, I don't listen to that genre very often, but if it does pop up in my in playlists sometimes, I really don't mind it. I mean, I think it's kind of nice. I'm surprised I'm still alive. What do you mean should have killed you? Sleep deprivation? Or the assault recently? Because assaults can be hurtful. Or something else entirely. Because I feel like a lot of people here suffer from a lack of sleep. Because I feel like that gets pointed out in chat every once in a while. Anyway, I'm not gonna say whether or not I'm included in that list. A mix of those and excessive amount of monster. Oh. The monster energy probably helped you with the whole sleep deprivation thing, so you could stay awake. I'm guessing. What energy drinks can do to you. And Rob, welcome to the stream. You can see. Well, I'm glad to hear that. In that case, let's just get started. I think I've stalled long enough. I think we should just get started on Balance Part 2, so that we can wrap this up today. Begin the side story, yes. Need to warm up my vocal cords again. It's been a bit. Also, I quickly wanted to point out, I wanted to upload, what was it? Madness Combat, right, I wanted to start watching Madness Combat, and I said I would watch it on Saturday, so it would be ready to upload on Sunday, but I didn't get to it, actually. I didn't find the time to watch it, so that's why there was no Madness Combat stuff going on yesterday. Not like too many people are already that interested, but 1k already, like, points again? Huh. Seriously questionable amount of monster. Yikes. Can't say I've run into that problem before. I don't know how I stay alive without any caffeine. Like, no coffee, no energy drinks, no nothing. I also don't drink any alcohol. Naturally, I don't smoke as well. I'm surprised at how little I need to survive. Like, how little is necessary. Well, then again, I am just glued to my PC for most of the day, so yeah. Maybe that's the one thing that I have a slightly unhealthy obsession with. My PC. Caffeine. Me not. I do not. Anyway, it's lunchtime. Sayori, who usually buys her lunch, is making her way to the cafeteria like any other day. The clamor and bustle of the students is drowned by Sayori's impeccable skill of zoning out. Can relate. However, her imagination is momentarily interrupted by the glimpse of a familiar pink-haired girl. Hey, that's Natsuki! I never run into the other club members around the school. Natsuki! Brought my lunch to school? Frankly speaking, I usually did that too, if I ate any lunch at all. When I went to school, it was usually... Well, sometimes I got a snack from a vending machine. But other than that, it's usually I ate breakfast. Maybe got a snack during lunchtime, but not usually. And then came home incredibly hungry and just shoveled my mouth full. So yeah. Voice acting is improving? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe it's not going to be as cringy anymore. Always included caffeine. I mean, you do you. I managed to slip by without caffeine. And without studying, for the most part. Like, the only subjects I ever studied in were the ones I was always seriously close to failing. Like Latin. Can you believe that Latin is... Oh my god, that's hard. Like, that was one of the only subjects I actually studied for, and let me tell you, that was a close one the entire time. From beginning to end. Actor soon? No. No, I could never. I could never voice act professionally. Not in my dreams. Sayori stands on her tiptoes and waves. Natsuki, who is busy walking and chatting with her friends, doesn't notice Sayori at first. Then she glances over in Sayori's direction. Sayori waves enthusiastically. Following her friends, Natsuki quickly ducks around the corner. Doesn't want to be seen. Doesn't want to be seen, of course not. Because her friends are douchebags. Well, the ones outside the club anyway. Pain in the ass, as they say. Hey! She definitely saw me. Nice. Math was always pain in the ass for me, though. I was actually pretty alright in math. Well, that was until... Yeah. Maybe 11th grade was when it wasn't that easy anymore. But up until then, math has been a subject I actually never did badly in. I was actually always doing kind of alright. And again, I always had that habit of not studying at all, unless it was absolutely essential to my survival. But up until algebra, And I wanna welcome to the stream. How's it going, my friend? Hope you are having a great day. Why did I suddenly develop more of an accent? I don't know. Let's get back to the game. What even was that accent supposed to be? I have no idea. Max 3 times as school. Yeah. Monica's the first to arrive to the club meeting, then Natsuki. Sayori, having glanced through the window to see Natsuki already inside, is unable to work up enough courage to enter. Natsuki's been so distant with me. I was stupid to think she wanted to be friends. She only got excited because she got to share her manga. But aside from that, she doesn't even like me. I should just go home today. Sorry, my voice is still trying to warm up. Just the things I liked. Always works though. I mean, hey, if it works, it works, as long as you pass, right? It's in a club, but I can't remember. I mean, I think they had something similar to clubs at our school, but for one, it wasn't run by students, it was always run by a teacher. So it's not your typical club, and it did factor into your grade, so it was mandatory, but you had to pick, you had to pick one of them. As far as I remember, you had to just choose one of them, and basically do that through the entirety of like 10th to 12th grade. But while it was run by a teacher, the students did also have a huge say in what was going on. So yeah. I had to wear uniforms. Okay, I am happy to say that I have not had that issue. I could always just come in casual clothing. But yeah, can't say it was always fun, but it did have its moments, I guess, maybe. Oh well. It's definitely not as fun as clubs can be, if the depiction in this game is at least somewhat correct and somewhat accurate. Then, oh my god, what I wouldn't have given to have had a club like this at school. And not something where like the teachers run it and it factors into your grade in the end and you actually have to put proper work into it. No, just like a small club run by students that doesn't really affect the grade, but it can be listed on your resume afterwards that you were in fact in a club dedicated to this. That would have been nice. That to wear a skirt in middle school for 200 bucks, did you do it? Did you do it or did you refuse the dare? I'm gonna be honest. I think I might have actually done it. I think I might have done it. I mean, the extra money, I need it. Always needing the money. Yeah, I did it. So how was it? Was it an interesting experience? Must have been. Sorry, do you plan on going inside? No. Why? $200 is $200. Yeah, I mean, fair is fair. Pretty drafty. I mean, it was cold shit. Oh my god! If they at least would have asked you to do it on a warm day, then But if it's cold, then that's definitely, I can't imagine that being all too pleasant. Got any information about the, I'm guessing that's supposed to say hell of a boss new episode. And I don't, is it already out? I don't think it's already out, right? I also don't know anything about whether or not, about when it's coming out. But when it does come out, don't worry, I'm definitely gonna watch it. You know I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna put that up on the YouTubes. Was short in middle school? Okay. What does that have to do with that? But now I'm like 6'4". Hey, growth spurts happen. Nice. Episode 5 I think I've watched already, if I'm not mistaken, so yeah. Wasn't that the one where Stolas was about to get assassinated, right? Skirt to school I probably would wear. And if I ever shall become... Wow. Yeah, just do a full-on cosplay. If you gotta wear a skirt, just go full cosplay with it. Already looked like a girl, I see. But I still imagine you would turn at least a few heads, right? Shortest boy. Yeah, full cosplay. Cosplay, that's also one of those things where I'm like, man! I'm thinking about whether or not it would be interesting to get into it, but I mean, that's... You either buy just costumes online or you have to like actually commit effort to it, and I don't know if I could do the whole effort thing, and I don't wanna just buy any good cosplays online because I feel like they would cost quite a bit of money. So, fuck. 180 degrees. Yikes. Oh god, how long have we been stuck on this frame? Let's go on a little bit. No, Nagisa felt. Oh, oh god, I remember that episode. Yeah, that. You go with the girls to protect them. Because they definitely couldn't protect themselves, right? Okay. Let's move on a bit, shall we? I'm sulking! Oh. Well, I'm sorry for bothering you. Excuse me. No, don't leave me! Oh, I'll stay here then. I wanna go in. I'm afraid of bothering Natsuki. I saw her attitude at lunch today, so I waved and called out to her, but instead of saying hi, she just ran away from me. Really? Not bad. Hey! Sorry, I'm sorry. That was a joke. Yuri, I like it when you do jokes. I don't know if clips are still there. You mean the clips from the previous stream? I mean, I didn't delete the stream, so the clips should still be up, and yeah. No, she's sulking, not soaking. Two very different things. Into my first fight, oh really? First major fight. The day you were dressed more girly than usual. Also, some of your quotes are inaccurate, you know that. Chat told me yeah. Kick the dude's ass. You go. I still remember the first time I actually... Can I say beat someone up? Yeah. Was actually, I think that was still in elementary school. Yes, in elementary school I was a bit more of a... First of all, I was more of an extrovert. I definitely had more friends in elementary school. But I think when you're in elementary school, most people are more extroverted, and later on, even a lot of introverts are a little bit more extroverted when they're younger. But I think I told that story once before. But there was one dude who was being kind of mean and teasing me all the time, and some other kids too. It was actually taller than me, which is what it was really impressive. But I mean, it wasn't really a long fight. I just, you know, leg forward, grabbed him, pulled him over, so he went straight over my leg, face first into the concrete. And then I got a teacher called on me. And that was the one fight I had in elementary school that I won, and we take those, even if I was in trouble for it afterwards. I was ass kicked by a trap. Yikes. Poor dude. Then when I will have a fight, I will be dressed as Monica and hold on, it's about delete. Yeah, just hold the fat ass delete button. Or just get a baseball bat and write delete on it. Works. I remember seeing some stuff I was not supposed to see in school. Ooh. Can't say I've had any kinds of encounters like that. Sorry, I'm sorry, that was a joke. It just sounded like something stupid that I would do from anxiety. From anxiety? Sorry, my voice. I'm losing it. Because I'm not concentrating on the game, I'm getting distracted so easily. My roommate calls me the Your roommate the tsundere calls you the trap. It's just a household of anime tropes, isn't it? Yikes. Well, I just don't like attention being drawn to myself. Oh! Well, that makes sense, based on the person you are, but Natsuki isn't shy like that at all. I thought we were friends, but it feels like every day she's just trying to distance herself more instead of getting closer. It makes me feel like she was only spending time with me during the club because I was reading manga, but she doesn't actually want to be friends with me. Yeah, I know I get distracted easily, and I know this proves it. Only friend left from middle school? I see. Yeah, you know what? I still have one friend from not just elementary school, but actually preschool. Yeah, back in kindergarten. That was... I still have a friend from all the way back then. One of the few people I still meet on a somewhat regular basis, whenever it actually works out. It used to be a regular thing, like every Friday, but now it's like maybe once a month. And that's still regular by my standards, okay? And even then, once a month might even be a little bit generous sometimes, so yeah. But still, I still have a friend from all the way back then, okay? Wow, the Hot Wheels joke. Haven't heard that one before. I was in a chess club I was in a chess club once. It was pretty boring. Well, at least it was something to do. But yeah, I get that it probably wouldn't. Well, depends on how much you are into chess, I guess. About 5 friends, even though middle school ended like. So for me, 1 month. Okay, let's get on with the game. I get distracted way too easily. I know I like interacting with chat, but I also am on a schedule here. I want to finish this game today, and if I get too distracted, I won't be able to do it. Like, we should probably be twice as far into the game by now, but no. Okay, let's just move on. I'm reading chat, but I'm not reading it out loud, and I'm not trying to interact too much with it unless I see something I have something specific to say on. Okay? Good. Wow. Okay.
Well, I feel like I'm missing a lot of context here. Was she in the middle of anything when you approached her?
No, she was just walking with her friends.
With her friends?
Yuri pauses for a moment.
How do I put this? Sayori, you're very fond of your friends, right? You always want to be spending time with them.
Of course. I don't think there's anything more important to me. I mean, the best parts of my day are always with my friends. Besides that, I really hate being alone, so...
You hate being alone?
Sayori nods.
We're very different people. I cherish my time alone. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I think, well, if I was trying to have alone time and it was being threatened with an interruption, then it just would not make me very happy.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with Natsuki. She was already with her friends, not trying to be alone or anything.
No, I think it's similar. Well, we're all friends in the club, but we have our own lives outside of the club as well. If you think about it, making friends isn't some casual occurrence that happens on a daily basis. Friendship is an invitation to intertwine your lives together, but the capacity at which each person is ready to do that might be different. There are friends who just like to have fun together, and others who talk every day and share every detail of their lives with each other. I think when establishing a friendship, it's important to consider the comfort level of the other person. I mean, we don't really know much about Natsuki's life outside the club.
Okay, hang on. Deciphering actually does take a moment. But before I do that, I need to check something else really quick. Yeah, okay. Teacher. He was a guy I've seen twice. What? Huh? What about a teacher? What about a teacher you've seen twice? A teacher, he was a guy, I've seen him twice. Don't understand what that was in reference to. Anyway. Oh, who was the president? Yeah, read the previous chat messages, then decipher the text in case it's a response to something. I said I would read chat, and I'm doing that, but sometimes I just forget about everything because I am small brain, smooth brain.
I mean, we don't really know much about Natsuki's life outside the club. It could be that she simply needs to make friends at her own pace rather than jump headfirst into a new commitment.
But that means I really was bothering her. I just really wanted to be good friends with her, so I treated her like one. Was I actually hurting her?
I don't know, I'm sorry. My insight was only based on what I understand about my own needs.
Wow. Guys, we got a Naruto runner in chat. But I think we all had some strange habits at some point in our lives. Or maybe still. Speaking of running, there was one thing I was doing sometimes, even in... That was also, I think, just in elementary school. But where I would hum music pretty loudly while running. To the point where I actually got called out for it. By a teacher. We were just doing laps and I was like loudly humming. Yeah. Strange habit I had. I don't know why I was doing it so loudly. Or why I was humming out loud at all. I could have just, you know, play the music in your head kind of stuff. But no, I felt the need to not only hum, but do it at such a level that everyone could hear me. You really like to be bullied? You're talking to Fastback or to me? Because I feel like both might be accurate. Not that I liked it, but I did kind of get into that situation. Even after, you know, after elementary school, I had a little bit of quiet time, but then around, when was it, about maybe 7th grade, it started up again at the new school, so yeah. So when I got out of elementary school, moving up to the next level, I had a little bit of alone time. I was just being casual, but the bullying started up again at some point. Worse this time. In elementary school it was actually kind of alright. I was just being teased a little bit among some other students. Never really outright bullied. So, only happened after. And at that point, I was no longer the kid I was before and I wasn't fighting back. Which is a big yikes. Oh, I actually ran into a wall. Wow. No, don't do that. It's a habit I've had to, don't do that. Not saying that that habit is fully gone, but don't do that. Also, I'm fine, by the way. But don't do that. Listen to me, don't do that. No need to kill yourself. Might still find some good memories along the way if you keep living, you know? Taxes makes me think of... don't. Let's move on from that topic and just keep going with this very fun game that's not dark in the slightest, okay?
My insight was really only based on what I understand about my own needs. Natsuki and I are completely different, so...
Why was I so selfish? Even if all that is true, then it still means I hurt her.
Give me a second. For my voice. There we go, my voice has returned, hopefully.
I think I messed up. Yuri, with you, I think I was really careful to understand your needs when I was becoming friends with you, but I wasn't careful at all with Natsuki because she already seemed really social. I just took control of everything instead of looking for the right balance.
I like how a normal conversation randomly... And taxes then soon erase. Yeah, that's just what you expect from here. Random stuff going on all the time. Conversations can move along so quickly to different topics. And back to taxes.
Now I hurt her and she doesn't want to talk to me. How could I let myself do this?
Sayori, I think that, well, there was one time you told me something about the way I saw things in my head being different from reality. It's easy to automatically jump to the worst case scenario, but I think it's more likely that Natsuki doesn't harbor any ill feelings towards you. So I think if we were to realistically consider the situation and how it could cause someone to feel, I'm bad at this, I'm sorry. You're a lot better at me than things like comforting and reassuring people.
Suddenly Sayori gives Yuri a gentle hug.
You're the best, Yuri. I'm sorry for burdening you with this. You're trying so hard. You're such a sweetheart.
It's not a burden. I enjoy listening to others. My friends deserve happiness.
Sayori beams.
Well, I think I'm gonna give Natsuki some space. She should do what she wants. And if she does still want to be friends, then I'll learn her needs and I'll match her boundaries. Yeah, I'm sure that's what's best. I wish I didn't feel so awful and guilty. It makes me feel desperate, like I need to make it up to her by trying to make her happy. But that's not what she needs. I just have to tell myself that. It hurts, but I guess it means I still need to grow. I really want to grow as a person. If it's to be better for my friends, I want that.
That's very mature of you, Sayori.
I'm mature.
You're not. You're not. Also, my voice is dying again. It's because I'm not used to the voices anymore. It's been too long. Sayori hops up and down on her toes.
So, does that mean you'll be going home after all?
Sayori shakes her head.
I need to be here to show her that I respect her space. I'll just spend the club by myself today.
Yuri nods in understanding.
You can go in first.
Oh, okay. You're blocking the door.
Oh,
Sayori steps aside.
by the way,
Before Yuri enters the club room, Sayori interjects.
you said that you and Natsuki are completely different, but I don't really think that's true. I think you're actually really similar in a lot of ways.
Yuri smiles and shakes her head.
Sayori, that's absurd. You're very silly sometimes.
Yuri turns and enters the club room. After a moment, Sayori follows. The club room is quiet. For fun or what? What else would I be streaming for if not for fun? Well, I guess for you guys too. I stream for my own fun and hopefully for your fun and amusement. Which I feel like you're having some degree of fun, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Sorry if that's a selfish assumption, but I mean, I feel like it's kind of fair to assume that, right? Practice English. Wow. Yeah. Can we have a fart? Oh, what? A fart channel point? Come on. What? What? You mean like channel point rewards that play certain noises, like farts, for example? By the way, that's one thing I wanted to add. I feel like the Omaewa Mu should make a sound just in case I miss it in chat at some point. So I feel like setting up sound rewards would be a good idea. And yes, I might consider adding a fart channel point reward. If you guys want that. So once I figure out how to throw together the sound rewards, I'll do that, and I'll quickly do a post in the announcement channel to let you know, okay? Good. Also, I'll have to add... No, I won't have to add them to command list because it's channel points, not commands. Ahahaha. The club room is quiet. When Sayori walks in, Natsuki glances in her direction. Sayori smiles and gives Natsuki a quick wave before sitting down across the room. Half an hour in. Normally we would probably be just about done with one side story by now. Yikes. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. Sayori decides it's best to continue the manga she was reading, so she pulls it out. However, it looks like Natsuki isn't reading today. She has a sheet of paper in front of her and is tapping a pen against her desk, staring at it. She wants to write poem.
Oh, how are you writing today?
Monika speaks in a quiet voice, like she always does when I voice her, unwilling to disturb the peace of the club room. She kneels down at Natsuki's desk. But you got knife? Why you got knife? What do you need knife for, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Hey!
Natsuki puts the sheet closer to her and covers it with her arms.
Sorry, I didn't mean to peek.
Whatever.
I just wanted to see how everything was going.
It's fine. Natsuki replies dismissively. She glances over at Sayori, who is focused on her manga. Monika follows Natsuki's gaze. I think she's mad at me.
How come?
I'm not busy right now. Ask me later. Monika falls silent. Natsuki looks back down at her paper. She inches her hand away from the top margin, allowing Monika to see. It says to Sayori. Oh, she's writing a letter. Or a poem. For Sayori. You got any boost for Discord server? I noticed that my Discord server has gotten a boost, by the way. I have noticed, and I've noticed who done it. And I am very happy about that, even though I don't really know what I would do now that now that this boost is active. What do people do with their boosts? I mean, I think I looked at what the boosts do, but I'm still not sure. I think it boosts the amount of emotes I can have, for example, but I don't really have any more emotes to add. I'm still nowhere close to the current cap. Also, upload and down the file upload is a little bit bigger now. Right? A lot of stuff, basically, but a lot of small stuff, so yeah. Says to Sayori. Understanding Monika smiles, she places her hand on Natsuki's shoulder and whispers softly.
I'm proud of you.
Natsuki looks away, but makes no motion to remove Monika's hand. Monika gives Natsuki's shoulder a quick squeeze before standing back up and pulling away. Ooh. Yeah, you collect them, but I think you said you had a knife, right? Oh, a new knife, right. That's why, yeah. Pfft. I didn't notice that one single word in there. If I miss out on new, then it's just like I got a knife, by the way, and I'm like, why do you have one on you? But yeah, you got a new one to add to your collection. You get a new knife, are you pulling up for Grievous like this will make another fine addition to my collection. I can't do a Grievous voice, by the way. I mean, I guess I could try, but I already know it would sound stupid, so I'm not doing it. I can do different voices, but no cool sounding voices. I can only sound stupid, that's about all I'm good for.
But if that's what you want, then that's fine by me.
The end of the club meeting passes. Yuri has already departed. So has Monika after checking on Sayori and Natsuki to ensure they wouldn't stay too late. Animated pic of the oh. Well, I wouldn't even know what to animate for that yet, so I don't even know. Plus, I suck at animating anyway. Like, the most animation stuff I can do is like the small little GIF we have of the Pokemon jumping whenever someone does anything here on Twitch for me. And that was easy. I just had the sprites and I just had to move a few little things around for it to, you know, look interesting. Like close the eyes, move them up. For the final one, I think I moved the bubbles around a little bit so it doesn't feel too unnatural. And I think the hands were moved on some of them. Anyway, yeah. So that was easy. And of course, I guess the quote-unquote fireworks I had displayed for the anniversary, if you remember those. That's about all the animating I can do. Don't ask me to animate anything, because I cannot. How long can your voice get? How low can my voice get? I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess I could try. Haven't really tried lowering my voice really that far. It's a question of how comfortable I can be. You mean low as in how low can I talk comfortably, or how long could I theoretically get when it comes to squeezing out sound? Because I feel like this might be my lowest voice possible right now. Maybe. Maybe this is my lowest voice, but I don't really know. Maybe I can go lower, but I'm not really sure. It probably take a little bit more effort to go lower, but that's the lowest I think I can go comfortably. Unless I can maybe go a bit lower, like try to speak more from down low. No, that doesn't really go. No, that doesn't really go too deep. Theoretically, haha. There we go, there's the other things. My voice is too gravely? Huh? Well, as opposed to that, what do you think the highest I can go is? Should I try to find that out too?
The highest... I mean, I guess I would...
Hang on, I'm gonna try to see if I can hurt my throat by going extremely high pitched.
Well, I guess that's the highest I could go, really. But I'm not really sure about that.
What was that high enough? Oh no, my voice cracked there. Oh god. I'm not really sure how high that sounded, but I think I got up a bit. At least a higher pitch than before. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. How horrible. Okay, Paimon. Got her locked up in my room here. Bring her out the voice for me. Sayori was determined to finish her manga volume before heading out, since the end was approaching. However, with Natsuki also staying late for an unknown reason, a silent tension hangs in the air. After finishing the volume, Sayori brings it to the closet to put it away. She slides it back onto the shelf while Natsuki watches. Then Natsuki gets up and pulls it back out in order to return it to its proper location.
Sorry, I didn't know where it's supposed to go.
It's fine. The two fall silent again, avoiding eye contact. They both look like they're about to say something, but neither can break the silence. A moment passes.
Well, I'll be on my way. See you tomorrow.
Sayori turns away to hide her pained expression, then walks away from the closet. If there was any proof Natsuki no longer wanted to be friends, this was it. Defeated, Sayori carries herself out of the club room. No, don't go! Once in the hallway, Sayori takes a deep breath and hits her palms against her cheeks to clear her head a little. Suddenly Natsuki's stammering voice calls from behind.
Natsuki?
Startled, Sayori turns back around to face Natsuki. Natsuki fidgets and anxiously continues with a shaking voice. New art? She has the poem or letter written in the style of a poem. Look at them. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Just punch you. Just quick slap. Clear yourself up. Natsuki fidgets and anxiously continues with shaking voice. I have a lot of things to say.
Me too. But you go first.
Natsuki bites her lip and can't stay still. Well, first of all, she cuts herself short, struggling to continue. Look at her face. Best girl. Trying to force the words out, she stamps her foot and hops up and down a little. I'm sorry for the thing I did at lunch. I'm sorry for just being kind of mean lately. It's really hard for me to, I'm not good with things that make me uncomfortable. Especially when it comes to, like feelings and stuff. So, face burning, Natsuki clams up again. Instead of continuing, she simply holds up a sheet of paper for Sayori to take. The best place in the world. I love my bedroom. It's full of bright colors and soft things. The sunlight shines in and makes everything sparkle. It's the best place in the world. It has all my treasures, all my books, my collections, my memories. All of my dreams were born in this room. It's the best place in the world. It has all my secrets, all my failures, my fears, my feelings. Sometimes it feels so fragile that the door will break at the slightest touch, but it's still the best place in the world. But when someone knocks, I get scared. I brace my arms against the loose hinges. Please don't break, don't come in, I'm not ready. It's my best place in the world. The knocking won't stop. I block the door with furniture. An eye peeks through the keyhole and I panic. I'm trapped in the best place in the world. Doesn't sound so bad to me. I'm not ready to share my favorite place. I need to clean my secrets and make my bed to hide my nightmares. I need to touch them to put them away, to see them again. I have so much to do and I'm scared, I'm not ready. But it's still my favorite place. I still want to share it, however long it takes. If you wait patiently, I'll eventually open the door and I'll show you the best place in the world. Well then. Yeah, cleaning up is definitely something I would do if someone were to knock on my door. Not like you could ever see.
It's a poem. But I thought...
Well, I sucked it up so that I could work things out with you. So just be happy about it. Please? Zoe smiles deeply from the bottom of her heart.
I'm happier than I could express. I feel so awful, but I'm so happy that you would do this for me. I actually realized before the club meeting today that I made a mistake. I got so caught up in the chance to get close to you that I forgot to think about what you wanted, and that we probably have different ways we like to make friends.
About like the friendship stuff? I mean, it's okay. I understand, so you don't have to force yourself to talk about it.
Your poem did a good job. So don't force yourself if you're not ready yet, okay?
Natsuki nods. Wait, did I read that in... Was that also Yori and I just read it in Natsuki's voice? Oh yeah, after the I mean, I kept reading in Natsuki's voice. My mistake, it happens every once in a while, because I suck at reading the name of the textbooks. Well, what do you want me to do? Read in a visual novel? No.
You don't have to feel like you did anything wrong. It was my fault and I'm sorry. I wasn't mad at you today or anything like that. I actually felt really guilty and wanted to give you space.
Snow lava lamp? How would that even work? But I am doing fine and I hope so is everyone else. Except for Fastback, who is apparently lucky to still be alive. Which I guess means they're doing fine in their own right.
I was thinking it's silly that I just wanted you to approach you all the time, and that I should just let you approach me when you want to. Just whatever makes you comfortable. I respect that from now on. Friendships should always start with those things. With the right balance.
Natsuki nods again. One thing about that? Well, I don't want to have to approach you all the time either. Where can I get... Why can I get a Flash player in a... In a zip file? Moving on. Do not ask me questions. I do not answer questions. I suck at answering questions. Also, I don't mind if anyone writes a poem. Like, seriously. Why would I mind? Plus, we have a whole channel over on Discord dedicated to sharing poetry, so... don't let me stop you. Okay. I just wanted to be balanced, like you said. Sayori nods.
I understand.
We're almost an hour in and we're still in the first side story. I need to hurry this up. So, less focusing on chat, more focus on the game now.
We'll make sure of that together then.
Well, anyway, now that the two of them have found common ground, Natsuki finds it easier to speak more freely again. I'm not gonna be, like, sharing my poems all the time now or anything like that, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to do it once in a while. Only the best ones. So you better like them, because otherwise I might change my mind.
I like anything you do, Natsuki. I was just saying. More importantly, I have to tell you about my new boyfriend.
Huh? Oh, from the manga. Wait, I need to guess who it is.
You definitely won't be able to guess.
The two walk down the hallway together. Oh my god, we have so much to talk about. Darn, I should have told you to save the last 2 chapters so I could see your reaction to the big reveal.
Oh, you wanted to enjoy it with me. That's so cute.
Oh, shush. Okay, moving on. Don't waste time. Reflection part 1, here we go. Yes. Don't be sorry for distracting me. It's not that it's not fun, but I want to complete the game. Not that I want this game to be over and done with, I just want to have experienced it all so I can watch other people experience it, you know?
Am I bothering you? No. Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. Well, it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it.
That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prodding.
It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work, so it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then.
And yes, I saw that distraction.
It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with.
Yuri glances across the room at Sayori and Natsuki. Sayori has her head cocked back and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of a cookie that Natsuki is lobbing into the air, but the pieces keep bouncing off her face and hitting the floor.
Maybe I should say something.
No need, they just ran out of cookie. What a waste.
They've really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy.
Sayori seems particularly good at making that happen.
Oh great, time for literature, that I have to read, hang on. You, Monica, Game, and Gigi walk into a spare classroom. Make a poem on that scenario. That is certainly interesting. That's an interesting topic to write about. So you're just you as a girl. Give me the cookie. But it's understandable. But that's an interesting scenario. I'm gonna have to take a sip to that. Took a sip from my invisible glass of water. Haha. But that'll be interesting. I'll try my best. Again, as always, I have no guarantees that anything I write will be any good, but yeah. Okay. Wait, into the space classroom. Even better. The space classroom. How would that work out? Double date! Oh my god, it's a double date. Me and Monica, Game, and Gigi. Double date, let's go!
Sayori seems particularly good at making that happen, but the two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out well.
Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we?
Though that may be partially my fault since I'm supposed to be the one engaging club members. Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself.
Make a glass of water model. What? All the stuff you need here.
I've probably formed a habit.
Yeah, I read that.
The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage.
Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends?
I just read.
Oh,
But I like it that way. It feels nice to be carried off after a morning of classes.
do you always read fantasy?
Oh, not always. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of the series. There are still 2 more books after this one.
I guess those long books suit you well, since you spend so much time reading.
Well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. I'll read anything with depth and maturity.
Oh yeah? Even like romance?
Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them.
Oh come on, Yuri, you know what I mean.
Monica lowers her voice.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do too.
Maybe when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot. So it kind of felt like, please don't make me think about the past.
Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, we should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun.
Absolutely not.
Really? Even if it was just between us?
Try asking someone who has no shame, like Natsuki.
Oh, wow! You gotta do her like that, huh? Wow.
Ouch. Oh, sorry. I swear I didn't mean that.
Well, I guess it was my fault for pressuring you. I'm like that for things in my past too, you know? Things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience.
Well, there's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too.
No, she won't. Not her. Hey, were you talking about me? The cipher, I keep forgetting about it. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I know I have to do it. I know there are 2 letters missing. 2 letters missing. I know that. Sunrise in chat forgot. Don't forget, I'm here on my channel. At this point, I'm just like a random side attraction that no one cares about. Like just random background noise. I get it.
No, we were just...
Oh, we were just talking about how your interests have changed over the years. How our interests have changed. When did you get into manga, Natsuki?
No need to apologize. Like, seriously. Like a couple years ago, I guess? I mean, seriously, it's... it's nothing. Don't bite me, I'm just playing a game. If you want to chat amongst yourself, that's totally fine by me, because it gives me more opportunity to actually focus on the game, you know? I was already sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then.
Oh yeah? What was it that inspired you to get more into it?
I don't know. I guess, let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just like really fed up with a lot of things, so I got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself.
Hey, kind of like Yuri.
Monica.
Sorry.
That's completely wrong, so...
It's still cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they helped you a lot through hard times.
You know it. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading?
It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much.
How high do you think it would go if you stacked up the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack. I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long so that I can say I've read more than you. Not that I have the money for that.
Please, that would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page.
I know, I was just joking. I could never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki.
It's not boring.
Well, she didn't say it was boring overall. She said it would probably be boring for her specifically. Yuri, please, come on. Everyone has their preference. Chill, I said for me, not for you. See? That's what I mean. I can have my own opinion. I just think it's too convoluted.
Sayuri, those from the floor?
Gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books.
But my hands aren't dirty.
Just do it. The alls are there even if you can't see them.
Fine.
So he trots out of the door and Natsuki follows. She was just, you know what? That's what Yuri was sad that they wasted the whole cookie, and so Yuri's just going out of her way to make sure it's not being wasted. By eating the crumbs off the floor. CodeErr hardly know her. 10 out of 10 jokes here, folks. Best channel. Run by my chat, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. I am just here to, you know, be the face that might potentially draw people in. But yeah, chat is actually running this channel, in case you weren't aware. Better jokes, better commentary. Chat can do everything I can, but like 10 times better. So yeah, there you have it.
Yuri, you look a little upset. What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring?
Again, she said it would be boring to her. To her specifically, Yuri. I know you like to read into things a little too much, but come on. I have my reasons for no longer considering you best girl. Like it was forever ago that I ever considered you best girl. And you've been sitting You've been sitting on 3rd place in the ranking for quite a while, and you wonder why you recently fell down to last place. Really.
Well, she did correct herself.
She never corrected herself, she just pointed out that what she said in the first place was what she meant and you misinterpreted it, and even now you're still... Oh my god, Yuri! Can you believe it? Past me thought this was best girl. Hard to believe. Really. I mean, she's still smart and and her shyness is kind of cute and everything, but compared to the other girls, like... I don't know. Like...
Hardly. She was so condescending.
Was not. Roommate stole my phone back. Oh. Phone thief in the house. Well, reported to the cops. Thief!
I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for everyone. But she knows well how much these mean to me, so how could she just leave me alone instead of how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling me things you hate about it?
I'm sorry, Yuri.
You may be right. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like, especially in a literature club, so I should figure out how to mediate discussions to help keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books, and also your ability to get through them so quickly.
Yuri, who cares?
Thank you. Okay, this is something that I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find some common ground with you. Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected.
Then, either way, I'll do my best.
I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. I trust you, Monica, but I'm skeptical.
That's usually a second day? Yeah.
Okay, everyone. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the Literature Club is a place where we get to share things that we are really passionate about. But that also means we should be mindful of how we respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other.
Aren't you being a little dramatic about this?
This is important to me.
Well, sorry, I just feel like I'm being accused or something.
No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm sorry if it came off that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the Literature Club, don't you think? I'm sure we're going to have differences in opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club.
If you say so.
Sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when they're receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Sayori, what's your favorite food?
I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks or you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? Okay, so Yori's the expert.
Oh jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit?
That's easy. Cherries.
Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty.
What? Cherries are delicious.
Well, that's a pretty strong reaction.
Well, I just don't understand how somebody could think cherries are nasty. Yeah, I don't understand it either, unless you're allergic or something. Act 1 of the DLC is the streamer that guides this channel. Yeah, I know there's no character route for me. I'm just there to observe. I'm just there to observe and run everything. Surprisingly accurate.
How does it make you feel?
I don't know, sad?
Defensive, maybe?
Yeah, I got defensive.
See, the reason you had such a strong reaction was just because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely subjective. But when I say something like I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging Sayori's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty.
Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you just said it was your own opinion? Wow. And I thought my taste buds were really bad when it comes to liking different kinds of food, but I guess if you don't even like cherries, then I don't know what to tell you.
It has to do with the way our brain interprets the words. You're talking about the reality of the cherries, not your feelings about them. Like Sayori, let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty.
Good!
So what if I instead said what if instead of that I said like, I've tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy.
Well, that's fine. As long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word.
Okay, so cherries was kind of a weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about the cherries, I just talked about my feelings and Sayori didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes, I'm not going to quiz you or anything.
I know that. I was just...
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, you can do whatever you'd like. But does anyone have any thoughts so far?
Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings. Okay then. Didn't even like apple juice, okay. I mean, that's you, but if you say until a few days ago, does that mean you now enjoy it? Or is it like, meh, kind of alright, not really good?
Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I'm only suggesting it as a tool to help turn your defensive differences into a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sayori?
Whatever you say, cherry hater.
Oh, come on. Sayori, I actually like cherries. I was just saying that to help demonstrate.
What the heck? I've been duped.
I'm sorry, Sayori. I'll make it up to you later. How about a cherry sundae?
You're welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president.
Buying your people's loyalty. How deplorable.
Not love, but it's okay, I see. Oh, like you would turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You're certainly a fan of those cupcakes I brought in the other week.
That was, I was reading and not keeping track of them.
Well, that's enough. We're getting off topic. So now that we have the gist of it, how about we try it with something more relevant to the club? Like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences in opinion. Yuri, do you want to start?
Well, I rather not know.
How come?
Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just going to start a fight.
No, it'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm and rational discussion.
Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child, you don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind.
Respectable?
Yuri's expression changes at that word. As Monica recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri.
Well, the point of the exercise isn't exactly like, it's fine. I have nothing against anyone personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level.
Oh, well that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were gonna say that manga's for children or something. Like, I don't hear enough of that. But there's plenty of deep manga.
I'm not clueless about manga. I've read my own fair share when I was younger.
What, are you serious? How come you never told me?
Because I'm past that point in my life, and I really prefer not to revisit it.
That fell down again. Oh no, not your set. I hope it didn't get. I hope it's alright. I hope your set is alright. And hang on, I just got hosted. Fastback, why are you hosting me? What's happening? Fastback, thanks. Thank you. I mean, I do appreciate the host. And that one viewer. I am getting more and more popular every day. Don't know I'm bored. Fine by me. You be bored. You do what you like when you're bored.
I prefer more mature things now.
Excuse me?
Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? Let's try to keep the things subjective. Because if you imply that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it?
My friend might look at it. I mean, fair point. Okay, maybe there's someone gonna come in, but we don't know that. I don't mind either way, honestly. But thanks anyway. Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you.
Natsuki? Nobody's immature. I've read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy, and I love them both in their own way.
Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring.
Boring isn't subjective.
Okay, it bores me. That's subjective.
But, I mean, the thing about that, this is ridiculous. Do you see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was just going to make people upset.
I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always get the impression that you secretly look down upon me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed.
That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has the least bit of respect for the things that I'm into. The only thing that I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself and trying to mind my own business.
Oh, and you think people look down on you when you look down on Natsuki and her tastes all the time. Yuri, why did past me think you were best girl? I don't get it. What? Have you looked in a mirror? Tell me again about respect after calling all my interests immature.
You can't.
Please stop. Please. You don't mean the things you're saying right now. Let's just be friends.
I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. So please don't invite yourself to try and solve other people's problems next time, okay?
Yuri's piercing words send the clubroom into a choked silence. As she gathers her things, she leaves. Holy crap. I've never heard her sound like that before. She must be so pissed.
Well, you weren't very nice either, so...
I was just saying.
How did this happen?
It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate a conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. It was a really stupid thing for me to do.
It's nobody's fault. And it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. Nobody would have expected this. But I guess we are sensitive about the things we really love.
Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Natsuki, now you're being mean. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down on other people for it, I mean, yeah, you both acted out of the norm, but I still think Yuri was a little bit worse in this kind of situation, because she pointed out how immature you are she kind of talked about how immature you are for liking manga, indirectly, and then talked about how she wanted to be respected. Yeah, right.
That's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things, it's about just recognizing and understanding our differences.
Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. So I see what you're trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her. Not just like the way we talk to each other, right?
I mean...
Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should.
It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just like saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problems.
This wasn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally came out, because I can just move on now. But, it's fine, I promise. Gotta go? Alright, see you in a second. Let's just get our mind off this, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superiority complex.
Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga, whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay?
Sorry. I'm just bitter.
Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have the answers, but I at least know that we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience.
Monica says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the reassuring tone in her voice. This was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged in each other, the least out of anyone, and this is the reason. So Yuri and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga. Monica sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to just come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayori doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Okay, cut-off point and part 2, right? Yeah. Straight into part 2, not wasting any time, reflection part 2, here we go, start. A new day arrives. Sayori arrives at the clubroom earlier than usual, that is, not late. As she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at a desk, pulls out a sheet of paper, primed to jot down her thoughts. Sayori has made a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings onto paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve as her best inspiration for poetry.
My heart feels vacant because a ship sailed away.
Yo.
Ah! Natsuki!
Natsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. But it would have been a lot more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me listening in on your poetry thing.
Yeah. Thanks for realizing that.
Should I let you finish that up then?
Oh no, it wasn't. I mean, I just do it whenever it's convenient. You're not interrupting.
Where's Monica, by the way?
Oh, she's out in the hallway.
Huh? Why?
Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri's too nervous to come into the clubroom by herself, so...
Oh. Jeez, does Yuri really let things bother her for that long?
She can control her feelings. For some people, it's really hard to cope when you get a bad thought into your head. Maybe you can distract yourself for a little while, but as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back.
I just want us to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend like it never happened if we all just ignore it and move on. I don't want to be bothered by this. It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. Besides, it makes me feel really guilty, and I hate that too.
It's okay to have feelings. Doesn't make you weak. Let's figure this out together.
Fine. Only because you're good at this stuff.
Let's try to come up with a happy scene. Maybe that will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from.
Well, I was happy that things were before we had to have that conversation yesterday.
What part of the conversation made you upset? Was it Yuri being mean about the manga?
Maybe, I doubt it though. Because my friends and the other people make fun of manga all the time, but I just brush it off and ignore them. But something about it really got to me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen.
Is it because it came from Yuri?
No, why would that matter? I mean, well, maybe? I hate that she thinks she's so much better than me just because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Yeah, that's what it is. At least other people decide that they don't like me, or manga, or whatever. But Yuri acts like she's too good to even give it a chance.
I'm sorry. Everyone deserves a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you give Yuri's books a chance?
Ha! After this, obviously not.
What about before this?
Well, I would until I got bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually keep an open mind, then it's not hard to realize that a story can be deep and meaningful without being needlessly complicated.
I see. But you know, I like Yuri's books.
Yeah, but you like manga more, right? Sayuri shakes her head.
I like them both. I like them in different ways, but I like them both. I mean, the manga is really honest and fun and easy to just let go with. And the fantasy has a lot to interpret and uncover, and it's really rewarding to have some good quiet time together with it. But the most important thing is that both the manga and the fantasy are true to themselves. So I love them both, and I think there's room for both of them to be in the same club together. And I just feel like maybe we can have more common. Maybe they have more in common than you would think.
How do you get along with everyone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like, first it was with Monica, when I was new to the club. And then it was you, and now it's Yuri. And I was like, oh, that person is being such a jerk. And if they just realized that, then we could at least get going. But nobody else has this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that everyone's just a jerk to me because nobody likes me. And I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it.
Natsuki.
Sayuri puts a comforting hand on Natsuki's shoulder.
You're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everyone else. Everyone has different things they like. Everyone has different ways they like to communicate, you know? And sometimes that makes it harder for us to understand each other. I think that sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kinds of communication, and it feels like you magically connect with them. But other times, even if both people are really nice, it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or get the communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles a lot with too. It can be really hard. It takes a lot of, reflection and self-awareness and vulnerability.
I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability. I always have to be the strongest.
What do you mean? Tell me about that part of you.
Well, it sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me. Like my friends, and I guess my dad. Like, when I don't get good grades or even stupid things, like if my room isn't clean. So, what am I gonna do? Cry about it? If I myself get upset, then it's just letting them win. I'm better than that. I'm better than all of them. So, things always have to be everyone else's fault. Feels like if something goes wrong, and there's even a tiny hint that it might be my fault, then I just get really angry and I find ways to blame everything else instead. Whenever I mess up at a game. That was lag. Oh my god, that was just lag. Hang on, that was horrible. It's not that I don't have the skill, I'm just zoning. Nah, it's not always like that. I fully admit that I suck at games, okay? Like Friday Night Funkin'. But sometimes I do blame lag. Even when there's really not that much lag going on.
Do you see yourself as better than Yuri?
If I said that, then I would just sound really full of myself.
No. Our thoughts and our feelings are two different things. Even if we don't like our feelings, we have to understand them if we want to learn more about ourselves. That's part of vulnerability, you know, accepting that we have feelings that we don't like.
I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person. Because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm so much better than her. And... Novia? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you very much for the follow. It's very much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Just wrapping up DDLC Plus today. That she's a judgmental know-it-all who's stuck in her edgy phase and that I'm just way above that garbage. But I'm terrible for feeling that way.
You're not terrible. You are not your feelings.
But
you are not your feelings. You know, say that to yourself out loud.
Fine, I am not my feelings.
The way I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommates. You live in the same house and you gotta see each other every day. And even if you can ignore each other, most of the time, you're gonna run into each other every now and then, and it's just gonna make you feel like poop. So, the other option is to get to know each other. You can communicate and learn from each other and maybe even help each other change for the better.
And another follow by Monica Sees You. Oh, wow. How many Monicas does that make? I think that's like the third Monica that showed up in my stream at some point along the line. So welcome to the stream. And thank you for the follow as well. It's appreciated.
Does that help you understand?
How do you know so much about this stuff?
I just have a roommate that can be really hard to get along with. Called depression.
Depression? But you're like the happiest person I know.
I am not my feelings.
I am surprised that Natsuki knew about her depression. I mean, Monica knew about it, that much is not too surprising, but that Natsuki knew about her depression before the game took place, that's definitely new to me. I want to be a good person like you.
Aw, you little sweetheart. We're all good people. You and Yuri and Monica. And I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you.
Natsuki remained silent, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Despite Sayori's kind reassurance, a complicated mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though flowing from a wound inside her. Was it a result of her vulnerability? No. It wasn't as though she was inflicted a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was as though she began to rediscover an old wound. One that cannot simply be bandaged and left alone any longer.
Yuri, what are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you. Please don't yell at me. Oh, I'm not going to yell at you. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It was unfair of me to put everyone on the spot like that. Next time I won't just try to jump in and solve everyone's problems. I guess it's a bad habit of mine. You're not mad at me? I thought you were the one mad at me. I was so awful yesterday.
Yuri curls up, recalling the details of the argument. I just stay for once, for God's sake. What do you mean just stay for once? Eh? What do you mean? What do you mean? You talking about how the viewer count is not growing despite people showing up and even following? I don't mind that. People have schedules. They might see the content, think like, oh, that might be interesting to check out in the future, but sadly I don't have time right now. Could be. If that's what you're talking about. But I don't know. Your curls up, recalling the details of the argument.
I can't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset. hold on, that's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this, okay?
Yuri pauses for a second, then manages a nod. Monica takes a seat next to her on the staircase.
I'm having a lot of negative thought patterns and I can't get away from them.
What kinds of negative thought patterns?
Like everyone hates me, especially Natsuki.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't think Natsuki hates you.
How do you know?
Well, because...
Monica thinks back to the time that she herself found herself in an altercation with Natsuki, and how a display of maturity from Monica was enough for Natsuki to reevaluate her own feelings as well.
I think Natsuki is just naturally defensive. I think she acts mean when she feels like she needs to protect herself. But you know, she's really not a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She just, well, I guess the way it works is that she wants to receive some degree of kindness first before she feels comfortable returning it.
Oh, but that means the burden is on me. And I don't know how to say things that make people like me. Every time I open my mouth, I just...
Yuri shakes her head at herself and tucks on her hair. Having a mental breakdown over my set. Oh, that. I am very sorry to hear that. I hope you get everything figured out. Like, seriously, just fingers crossed you get it all properly set up so it doesn't say goodbye again.
It's okay, Yuri, you don't have to beat yourself up. I think anyone would like you if they get the chance to know you.
Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I'm not talkative anymore in the first place. Because everyone used to think that I was weird and talk about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. Natsuki even said that she found it more respectable when people speak their mind, so I did, and then she hated me anyway. That was enough to confirm my fears.
But Yuri and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right?
Yuri doesn't seem to have a response.
Hey, what do you think of Natsuki?
I don't think about her.
That's not what I meant, really.
I just...
I was just wondering if you had an opinion of her.
I do.
Month is left. Why? You can do it. You can figure it out. Fingers crossed. Come on. You've impressed me so far. You can keep going.
What is it?
Natsuki seems to bring out the worst in me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated person, so for someone to just treat me like I'm inferior despite my tastes, that's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. And it makes me think bad things about her, but everyone else seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong again. My feelings about her are wrong, and I'm wrong to get upset over something so childish and inconsequential.
No, Yuri, feelings are never wrong.
Well, they're not right.
That's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, you know? They're just a state of being that we don't always have control over. But that doesn't mean they have to control us. I feel like that's something I learned when I first started the club. We can hate ourselves for feeling a certain way about things, or we can, just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I could never be mad at you for just feeling a certain way. It's about how you handle them. And I think working through feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork.
Yuri wears a dejected expression.
You make it sound so easy. You're so mature and so good with people. I feel like such a child in comparison.
Oh, Yuri, I'm far from perfect. But these are learned skills. They don't come naturally to me either. It's really hard to reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts.
I just want to be a good person.
Well, I think it takes good people to get this far.
That's not good enough. I want to be able to communicate it to her.
Communicate what?
How I feel. How it makes me feel frustrated and upset when she's so negative and dismissive of the things that mean so much to me. And how it reminds me of me. Because I know because I know what it's like to feel misunderstood and angry at everyone. I know that telling yourself you're better than everyone else is just a defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable.
It's kind of scary how similar they are in a lot of ways, how they have to tell themselves that they're better than others, and how they don't like making the first moves for different reasons, but still. Yeah, they do have their similarities. But Yuri is just a worse version of all of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yuri fans.
We're fragile and unstable, but I'm just tired of that getting in the way. I can't stand it when the peace is disturbed like this.
Yeah, you can't focus on your reading when the piece is disturbed, right?
Because the literature club should be happy for everyone.
Monika looks at Yuri in adoration.
I feel like Sayori must be rubbing off on me because I really want to hug you now. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, I mean, well, if you wanted to, then I wouldn't really mind, so...
Monika pulls Yuri into a short embrace.
You're so gentle, and I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel lucky to get to see that side of you, and I'm sure Natsuki will too.
I'm going to write her a letter.
Oh, a letter? What a great idea.
Just because I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forget to say all the important things, and I say things I don't mean.
Well, I think a letter would be wonderful. Such a nice way to communicate.
Yuri's face hardens with determination.
People don't naturally gravitate towards me, like they do for you and Sayori. My personality just isn't suited for that, and I wouldn't want it to be. But something I've learned is that friendships don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I never would have seen myself making friends with someone like Sayori. We're opposite in a lot of ways, but I'm friends with her because she put so much effort into understanding me so that we can get along. I think it was the same with you. You both gave me a lot of time and patience, and I wonder if she feels the same way.
Natsuki?
Yuri nods.
I always thought that if I wanted to make my friends, I had to be somebody that I'm not. That there's a type of person or a magical formula I have to follow in order to make someone like me. And that's just like me to think that, always so occupied with myself that I fail to understand other people.
Yuri shakes her head.
Friendships happen when you think about the other person, when you offer time and effort to understanding them and respect them, and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's what I learned through my observation in the literature club.
Observations?
Monika is caught by surprise. Yuri has always kept to herself so much that it's so unusual to hear her suddenly talking about the club like this. But Yuri gently smiles to herself.
You always let me listen to your thoughts about people, Sayori too, and it makes me happy because I learn a lot of things.
That's so sweet. I had no idea that meant so much to you.
Monika never thought much about it, but in the past weeks Yuri always seemed to be especially attentive when it came to the problems and concerns of others, always wanting to listen and learn more about her friends in the club. It's true, so Yuri and Monika are naturally more comfortable with other people and can more easily work through situations of conflict. But that doesn't make them better people. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses and the capacity to improve. And the first step towards improving oneself is reflection and self-awareness. It's something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but that Monika can recognize as an incredible trait. And with that, her confidence in the club is restored. Which means it's now time for the final... No, we're actually going back up in this side story. Okay, the side story is a bit longer, I feel like. A very shy girl with long, pretty hair is wandering the bustling lunchtime hallways, her fists pressed into her collarbone. When she finds the literature club president's classroom, she stands at the door, glancing all around her before peering inside. Monika is sitting and chatting with a group of unknown friends. Yeah, as expected, this was a bad idea after all. Oh, this is when Yuri first appeared. From her perspective this time. Suddenly, Monika glances towards the door, making the girl panic and duck out of sight. I want to cry, but can't. There's no need to cry. I've seen how talented you are when it comes to your clay stuff. You can pull through, even if stuff is going wrong. Okay? From what I've seen, you've got a whole lot of talent. More than I have, definitely. And more than I feel like probably a lot of people have in chat. Probably because I haven't seen any of their works, but so it's just an assumption, but still. I know that you can pull through. Before she can regain composure and decide for sure to leave, the classroom door gently opens.
Yuri, what a surprise to see you during lunch.
Yuri squeaks in response.
Please help me. What, is everything okay?
Yuri shakes her head.
I don't know how to write letters.
Oh, so it's not a flashback to back then, okay.
Thank goodness, I thought there was some kind of emergency.
Monica briefly glances over her shoulder at her other friends.
Do you want some help? We can go find an empty classroom or something. Is that okay? I feel bad taking you away from your friends. It's totally fine, I promise. We weren't really doing anything. One sec.
Monica trots back into the classroom, says something like, I gotta go, to her friends, then grabs her pen off her desk before returning to Yuri.
Okay, let's find somewhere quiet.
My voice! I need to drink. Hang on. Yuri nods and follows Monica as the two of them set off.
How are you today? Huh? Me? Well, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I was just so caught off guard. I'm doing well today, just tired. I never seem to get enough sleep during the week. How come? Oh, I don't know. I think I'm just easily distracted. I get really sucked into things and start neglecting the time. Me too, I do that too.
Look at Yuri making small talk.
Hey, this classroom is empty, let's go in here.
After peering inside, Monica opens the classroom door and the two of them enter. Yuri's moment of relaxation ends. She watches as Monica pulls out two chairs up to the same desk, then obeys as Monica beckons her to take a seat. She stares down at the empty desk.
You nervous? I don't want to do this. We don't have to. We can come up with something else.
Yuri shakes her head.
It's my chance to do something good. I need to take initiative. Gosh, you must be really determined. I know how hard it is to step out of your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you.
Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of lined paper from the notebook. Then she picks up her pen. New image.
Hey, you're left-handed. That's neat. Oh, yeah. Now I don't have to worry about bumping into your arm.
Monica playfully rubs her shoulder against Yuri's.
Sorry, I'm just being silly, I guess. Anyway, how about we start by listing different things you want to say to her?
Yuri thinks.
I feel embarrassed all of a sudden. Oh, it's okay. How about some of the things you said to me yesterday? But, never mind, I guess I'll try.
Yuri thinks for a moment longer before her tension evident. By the way, let me just get a good look at everything, you know. Not writing anything. Oh no. These new artworks are so cute. Like, seriously. Then she writes the word reflection.
This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act like this towards each other, but have been able to separately be friends with Sayori and Monica.
It's me.
Yes, it is. So,
Yuri thinks.
I've been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interests.
The same goes for Natsuki too. We started off as pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted, but she just wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped making it all about me, she was able to do the same.
I want to do that too. So what kinds of things do you want to do for her?
So what kind of things do you want to do for her?
I want to do the same things for her that I like to receive. I like when people respond positively to the things I talk about and not just brush me off. I like when my feelings are taken seriously. And I like when you and Sayori trust that I want to be a good person, even when I'm not doing a good job at it.
Let's write those things down.
Okay.
Yuri writes some things down.
I think the most important thing to remember is that
Natsuki is feeling vulnerable, so we should just make sure the letter puts her first.
Look at that, there's actually writing going on. It's not just a blank. So they start with a blank paper and actually add text to it. Wow! Attention to detail, guys.
It's hard when you're feeling hurt, but it never hurts to just tell someone all the things that they're doing wrong. I think first you have to make sure that they know you're ready to respect them and listen to them, and admit the things that you feel you could do better. Then finally you ask what you would like in return. How does that sound for the structure? It could be 3 paragraphs, one for each of those points. I like that. My thoughts were so disorganized I had no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. You're so amazing at these things. Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have, you know. You spend so much time reflecting and being open-minded. That's the hardest thing for anyone to do. What I'm doing is helping you put it on a piece of paper. So I think you're the amazing one.
Monica gives Yuri a quick squeeze. Yuri's hand a quick squeeze. But as she lets go, she's caught by surprise when Yuri curls her fingers to hook Monica's hand in place. For a while they sit like that in silence, save for the occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper.
Yesterday you taught me something that I'm thinking about a lot.
What was that?
The thing about how feelings aren't right or wrong, and that they're just a state of being we need to come to terms with. It made me think about how a person's behavior isn't always just how they decide to be. It's also made up of their past experiences and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people rather than as insignificant side characters who are out to get me somehow.
Is that how you feel about Natsuki?
Yuri nods.
But in reality everyone is always trying their best and everyone wants to be happy.
Monica peers over at Yuri's paper, but to her surprise Yuri pulls it in closer, partially covering it with her arm.
I have to be able to read it. I have to be able to read it to help you out, you know.
Wow. If I could read, that would be very, very beneficial.
It's okay. My thoughts are a lot more organized now after being able to talk to you about it. Not that I'm actually putting it on paper, I realize I'd prefer others not to read it.
Yuri laughs softly to herself, a rare expression.
I'm kind of glad to hear that, actually. I somehow keep finding ways to butt into this whole thing. I've done enough damage. But it's also been so wonderful talking about this. I mean, I always thought you were really smart, but...
Yuri smiles.
I will always be terrible at these things. People are just so incomprehensible to me. I'll never get the hang of being one. But listening to you so much has really helped me make sense of some things. So just don't call it damage, please.
Monica gives Yuri a gentle smile.
I can't believe I came to this club looking for fantasy geeks and all I got was real friends who value me.
Is that a joke?
Oh, of course it is.
I still can't tell with you.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Please never change.
As you wish.
Yuri glances at the clock.
We're almost out of time.
Will you be able to finish?
Before the end of the day, probably. But I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsuki reads it. I'm too shy.
I can give it to her instead if you'd like.
Yuri nods.
As long as you promise not to read it.
Of course I promise.
Thank you.
Yuri exhales and the two stand up.
I'll message you when it's ready.
Monica nods.
Good luck, I'm here if you need me.
Yuri returns a nod, then the two depart. Let's go, side stories. The final two, self-love, part 1. Let's go, get this started. So we have time to check all the other content after we're done with the side stories. It's only been 1 day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monica's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours until she will have to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. Because the passing by of students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out the most secluded spot she could find to spend her lunch. Because the staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here. Let me guess, Natsuki's gonna show up here for some reason. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of of a frantic school day. Yup. What are you doing here?
I just...
Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs.
Well, what are you doing here?
I just came to get a drink from the vending machine. The other one is out of the drink I like. Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. She nods, avoiding eye contact. Of course she does. Why wouldn't she avoid eye contact? I mean, it's Yuri. She always avoids eye contact, as do I, to be fair, but you know. Natsuki, always looking away. Also looking away. Bah. But yeah, true. Shuffles over to the vending machine. It's so quiet that every one of her movements seems to reverberate through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with in place of the coins. It's some kind of iced tea. But instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, it's not what I meant, really. I mean, it's totally cool that it's your thing or whatever. Like, I can see how it suits you, so... Not because I think you're creepy or something. I didn't mean that either. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a good idea.
It's okay. Everything is okay.
Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself into dejection. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. Well, I can leave if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap of her drink and takes a sip. Awkward. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. And the two just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade a little bit as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what that may be. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Natsuki is the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Are you coming today? To the club? Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to, eventually.
There's no rush, I promise.
Thanks. Bag, my roommate is being weird again. Again? Or still? It's the next day. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today, she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this because there aren't any people around here.
Oh, I thought you didn't like how quiet it was.
Well, I don't, but there's no people here.
I see.
Natsuki sits down. Good point. Yeah. But tell me, how so this time around? The mood feels much more different today than it did yesterday. After yesterday's lunch and the club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it.
But it's okay that I'm here.
Yeah, I don't care. I mostly don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, like, they all just assumed I stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. She keeps stealing my... Like, earlier you were talking about how she stole the phone. Why? Does she have a reason for stealing your stuff? Or does she just do it to get your attention? It's not like I want to get your attention, I just actually need this. Not like I'm trying to hide it from them exactly, but I just don't want it to come up again now after I've waited so long for this new volume to come out, literally months at this point.
You don't have any friends who are into manga?
Not unless online friends count. And Sayori, but that's different because she's not exactly into it, she just likes it, you know what I mean? Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least just look like books, so you don't have to feel like everyone is constantly judging you for what you're reading.
That would be so awful.
She's still... How do you just steal the Xbox? I mean, it's a console. You have to unplug everything and then move the entire console around to steal it. Or steal it as in she just booted it up and is claiming it as her own. Like seriously, unplugging a console is just... That's taking it to a whole nother level, I feel like.
Especially since I already hate attention so much.
What's a good thing? I have thick skin, I guess. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me and have no one to share your hobbies with.
Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school actually, I was especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days.
Took it into her room. I see. Maybe it's just an elaborate ruse to get you to come into her room. Oh, I'm trying to fit I'm just trying to fit the Tsundere narrative way too much. I'm sorry. At this point, I've accepted that your household is just anime stereotypes. I know it's just two of you. Hey, get more roommates to see how much stereotypes you can fit in.
Sometimes I feel like the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face.
Whatever. We were all just stupid kids back then anyway. Some of the fanfics I wrote, thank God I used a pseudonym. I'm the dense AF main character. Well, I thought you were the trap. Then again, doesn't exactly exclude each other. The dense main character can also be a trap. Well, no, technically I guess you kind of grew out of that, didn't you? That was back then where you were kind of a trap. You don't wear a skirt anymore, so the trap turned into the dense main character. Yeah, was a trap. Past tense here, please. Still though. But I liked it at the time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. So I don't think I would change anything.
I wonder if a few years from now we'll think the same thing about our current selves.
Probably.
That doesn't make you uncomfortable.
No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me, especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcibly slaps her own cheek. That's me from the future coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow, I didn't mean to do it that hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react. But then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. Yikes. Get along. Blunt. Get a long blunt object and commit violent negotiations. They don't need negotiations. They're getting along right now. They're committing violence against themselves, which is still not the best, but it's better than committing violence against each other. She turns red and stares into her lap, but is unable to hide her smile as though it was a really funny joke. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you.
I don't. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I thought it would be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to reading, but I keep going on about all this nonsense.
Exactly how I feel with Chad. Like, I feel like that's what Natsuki's about to say, you know?
I'll let you get to your reading.
Because Chad is constantly distracting me, but I'm fine with it, and let's see. Oh, right. Well, yeah, I guess I'll do that then. Oh, come on, Natsuki, you know you didn't mind the conversation. Chad, if you ever feel like you need to let me get back to my reading, it's appreciated, but I really don't hate talking to you. You know that, right? You know I appreciate you guys so much. The conversation ends quickly and Natsuki opens her book. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour. But the whole time Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret over having so abruptly forced the end of their conversation. Sit back.
You're back.
Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairwell once more. Hey, did you buy that? Natsuki quickly notices a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. What, like for me? But you didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up?
Well, I mean, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do.
No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought, never mind. What I meant to say is thank you. And that's a really nice gesture.
It's okay if you don't feel that way.
I do? What's the other thing that I didn't mean? I swear, please believe me. Yuri pauses, then nods.
Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you.
Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes the drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time.
Please, don't feel obligated.
I want to. I want to do nice things too.
Okay. Thank you.
You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice. Yeah, that's gonna be hard for her to figure out. Oh.
I'll do it then too.
Natsuki sighs. Nothing. It just reminds me how I haven't been getting along with my friends lately.
Is that why you've been coming here?
Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. They're just other things I'd rather be doing during lunch lately. I like being around them when we're just having fun, but they also just can't take anything seriously. So when I'm, I don't know, feeling serious, then their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse ever since I joined the literature club.
How come?
I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it because it would be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. But it's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm not gonna demand for everyone around me to change.
But
Yeah, I know. Monika and Sayori really don't agree with that sort of thing. But they're not in my position. So it's easy for them to say that you shouldn't just that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making an embarrassment of myself. Sorry, none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking about it.
it's okay. I like listening.
What, listen to other people's problems?
Yes.
That's weird. Sorry.
I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird?
No, that's not weird. I probably just misunderstood, so I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going?
If you'd like.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about now.
What are some things that you like about your friends?
A lot of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang out with after school and on the weekends. And they really like my baking. And it's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have a lot of good memories and inside jokes.
Oh. I'm bad at a lot of those things.
So?
Are those all things that are important to you?
Well, kind of, but they're not things I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them too.
Well, Sayori really likes your baking, and she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot.
That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends.
Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings.
Excuse me? How about you don't talk that way about my friends that you don't know anything about? Natsuki stands up.
No, wait.
I hate. You gonna finish that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave.
Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's fine, as long as you understand that you can't just judge people like that.
I'm sorry.
Natsuki sits back down. You can't just compare friends like that and measure who's better than who. Everyone's different.
I'm sorry. I just don't like when people. I don't like people who want to hurt you.
A moment of silence stretches between them. They don't want to hurt me. We just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's fun.
I don't like that.
Well, that's why I'm friends with them and you're not.
You like it?
Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts. Like how Monica can. She's good at these things.
Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monica and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you do is look at them wrong and they'll be all like, "Aw, what's wrong? Is everything okay?" I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands that is you. So you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think.
Oh, you don't need to reassure me or anything.
I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener.
Thank you. You're also nice.
Look at them getting along. It's time. We already know, though, that they're not always gonna get along perfectly, because by the time the main game comes around, they're gonna start fighting again. So, but at least they somewhat get along. It's really hard for me. Doesn't come naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever's on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or I want to say something mean. Why am I like that? You don't have to answer that, I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki notices fidgeting with the page of her book. How come you like reading so much?
Oh, well, a lot of reasons, but I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated, especially when it comes to following social conventions and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. It feels like I always want to be around the characters. I feel such a strong emotional connection with them in ways that I've never felt with real people. So in that way, I can sometimes feel more real. It can sometimes feel more real than real life.
Really? It's that hard for you to be around people, like, all the time?
Fairly often, especially in group settings, when people are making all kinds of conversation and saying jokes and all of that, I don't know what to do, and I just disengage.
Oh. That doesn't get lonely?
I don't think so. I can still enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course.
Do you ever wish that you could be friends with the characters in your books?
All the time. Sometimes so badly that it makes my heart ache.
Yeah. Me too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. A lot. Talk about relatable. Like, more than anything? After Natsuki mutters that, silence fills the stairwell once more. But it's a mutual silence, one full of understanding. Okay. It's time. Final side story. Are you ready for this? Self-Love Part 2. Final side story of the game. And then we'll be pretty much good to go. After that, we'll just check the mail and the pictures. And then we'll have experienced DDLC Plus in its entirety. Rob, if you're back again, which doesn't look like you're back yet. Because, Rob, you guys know, Rob is the expert. And if I'm unsure if I've completed everything, then it's time to ask Rob. It's time to ask the expert. But Rob doesn't appear to be back yet, so... Who steals drumsticks? Well, apparently your roommate. Again, I partially think she's just doing it to get your attention. Part of me thinks she just wants your attention. Hey.
Oh, hello. I almost thought you weren't coming today.
Yeah, well, lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri in the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. She's at this point. The edible kind? No, I think the drum kind. Or is it the edible kind? Because if it's the edible kind, then it is understandable, but I think it's the drum kind. The instrument kind, you know? Probably. Also, someone here is musically talented and plays an instrument. I played an instrument once, forever ago. I never really got too much into it, and then I kind of just dropped it. Should I specify which one? Played the keyboard. And no, I don't mean the keyboard as in the computer keyboard, but as in the instrument. Which, to be fair, is an instrument kind of similarly structured to a piano, so I guess even more connections between me and Monica. Hello? Wanna connect me to Monica? There you go. But I never got too into it, so yeah. Today she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while.
Is that so?
Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while, which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Cookies now. Okay, if someone steals your snacks, then it's serious. Not the cookies. Hey, ask her if she wants to do what Natsuki and Sayori did. Like, if she wants to toss them in your mouth for you. Because you said you were similar to her, right? You said you were similar to Sayori. Ask her if she wants to toss them in your mouth for you. And you can return the favor. Embrace the Sayori, yes, go for it. And let her embrace the Natsuki, because sooner it lines up perfectly. Oh god, I shouldn't say that. Plus, I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I would share with them too. It does line up strangely enough. In that case, you still need a Monica and a Yuri. Hang on, I thought you were the dense main character. No, you're embracing the Sayori now. Oh, let's just leave the main character out of it and just talk about the girls. So you've got a male Sayori, you've got a Natsuki. You need a Yuri and a Monica in your household. So get more roommates, come on, just fill up your own little literature club. Let's go. As she sits down, Natsuki opens the lid of the container.
You made cupcakes.
You know it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about time again. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes a cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown with dark green frosting, immaculately shaped into a floral pattern and topped with some kind of glittery powder.
Oh, pretty. I just ate, so I may not be able to finish it. Are they for the club?
Yeah, I guess so. Didn't really think about it, I just made them.
Oh, I just thought that because green is Monica's favorite color, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not really... Yuri takes a small bite.
This is green tea flavored. I love green tea.
Oh, do you? It was just a random idea I wanted to try, so yeah. Original roommate was insane. Insane in what way specifically? I'm curious. See, again, this channel is more about the chat than it is about me, but I don't mind that at all. I'm curious. I do be curious though. Don't laugh at me.
I'm not. I just felt happy.
Oh, sorry. And she literally tried to kill me. Now I'm curious, is that gonna fit more in the... If that fits one of them. I mean, they're both kind of insane. Yuri's more of a yandere, but she only really ever harmed herself. Monica's the only one who actually tried to kill people. Actually, the first person Monica took care of and deleted was Sayori. And if you're fulfilling kind of the Sayori part in your household, then then your former roommate trying to kill you also would kind of line up in that way. Kind of. But I might be stretching things a little bit here, okay? So, yeah. Don't mind me, just trying to fit all the tropes in there, you know? Oh, sorry. Usually when... Never mind. What I mean is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know that you like them from past experience. Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look.
How did you get into baking?
Oh, well, I don't know. It kind of just always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got, like, super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day. But it's something that I always knew I liked anyway. It's like, baking is like art. But when you get good at it, it gets more delicious too.
I'm struggling to imagine myself putting my heart into something so artistic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards.
Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it.
I think I'd prefer to be on the receiving end.
That's my other favorite part about it. It's something I can do that makes a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone is always so thankful. In that moment you get to be like the bringer of joy. I don't know, it just makes me feel...
Valued?
Yeah, I guess that.
So you were able to make up with your friends today?
There wasn't anything to make up with them about. We weren't fighting or anything.
You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood.
It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool, and that's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse.
So they're not going to stop?
I mean, it only happens sometimes anyway. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who ever has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Especially since I have somewhere to go now when I don't feel like hanging out with them.
Oh, I see.
The cupcake's empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles at Yuri's clenched fist. As Yuri clenches her fist. Yeah, I can read. I can read, guys. This isn't like the third DDLC thing I play on the channel. No. Stop getting female roommates. Maybe you do. Invite a main character in. Nah, you're kind of the main character and Sayori rolled into one, huh? Den's main character and also the silly little Sayori. Oh, but I do hope you do not have too much of the depression element. Don't think about suicide. Not with such a tsundere roommate to keep you company and entertain you.
I'm glad that the situation is resolved, and that you don't have to avoid them anymore.
Yeah, me too. And I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on.
Yeah.
But she wants to be bothered. I know that cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff you've done for me. But it's the best I can do. So, you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box. Then she takes her head and slides them back. Her hand. Yeah.
You should save them for your other friends.
But I made them for you. Natsuki's voice whines as she protests.
I know. And I like them very much, exactly as you thought. You succeeded. But I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way you know how to make that happen, then I'm not going to take it from you.
No, they were to make you happy.
You make me happy. You're worth more than cupcakes to some people. And that's why they want to spend time with you. And be your friend.
Without warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms.
Natsuki?
I'm such a bad person. Yuri Stamos feeling panicked. Yeah, how would you react if someone who, up until recently, you were kind of not getting along with, and then you start getting along with them more and more, over you just recently started getting along with them, and they suddenly start crying next to you. What do you do? I would panic too, and I would try to be reassuring, but I'm not good at that. Funny, Yuri isn't either. Ha ha ha. I feel like I'd be in a similar situation to her.
I didn't mean to say something bad.
Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes. You didn't? Natsuki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes. It feels so wrong when you say those nice things to me. Like I don't deserve it.
I'm sorry.
No, I am. I'm so difficult. And I can't think of even a single thing about myself that somebody would like. And I hated myself for bothering you during lunch. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person. Like, to be nice and do the things you wrote about in the letter. I knew if I tried in the club, Sayori and Monika would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it. You lost your will to try? Try at what? You mean your clay stuff? Dude, come on. You know what? Just maybe take a step back, okay? Maybe if you lost your motivation and everything, just take a step back, think it over again, mull it over. I know you said you have kind of a schedule going, so maybe take at least try to take a few days. Just take a step back, and then maybe you'll feel the motivation rush back into you. Maybe. I can't guarantee that that's gonna happen, but I feel like that's the best option right now. Just take a step back and let it naturally come back to you. Find the... Very entertaining. Look at that. You do find your entertainment, see? Funny roommate. Funny tsundere roommate. Ah.
You know, I think a lot of those negative things too, about myself. I never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say, and later I feel like I said all the wrong things. And I just spent so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So I understand some of that thought through my own experience. That's why I wanted to write the letter and express my feelings. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself.
Natsuki sniffles, Yuri rustles through her bag and pulls out some tissues, then hands them to Natsuki.
Monika told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. The desire to improve yourself, that makes you a good person, so don't worry so much. Also, there are things about you that people would like, so...
Like what?
Like how you're fun for people to be around. And you're not shy, and you know how to make people laugh. And you're very passionate about things, and you know how to take the lead. And you care a lot about other people. And just a lot of things.
Oh. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed.
Well, you're the one who asked. And don't you think I feel embarrassed?
Natsuki tries to hide a smile. Then she sighs as it fades again. Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time. And I keep coming back for some reason.
It's not bad.
Just really confusing. I mean, my friends and I go way back, so ditching them all the time feels like... I don't know.
Feels like what?
Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared that they'll get mad at me. I really don't know what to do. She pauses, Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles, while she thinks to herself.
What would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you?
Happy for what?
Happy that your new club is making you happy.
Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical. Natsuki says that, but with little confidence in her voice. I always told myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. And I still feel that way, but I'm spending time with people who put me down whenever I don't have their approval. That's probably what's making me feel so confused. Because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. So no matter what it's like, I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt.
That must make it really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are.
It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things. Natsuki presses her palms to her forehead and shakes her head. I know it's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something scary.
To do what?
You know, to end it.
One of them?
Natsuki nods. He's doing the cookies thing! Let's go! I think you mean throwing, not growing, but still. Noise. Yeah, figured. She's doing it, let's go! Natsuki nods.
I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option.
I wasn't until recently. It's just one of those things where, like, it's been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much of you has gone into it, so much that it feels like that's just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. Makes me feel sick to think about. Natsuki sighs. It's just really scary, it's terrifying.
What are you scared of?
I don't know, a lot of things. Like being alone, not having anyone to talk to or hang out with. Not being able to replace what I have with them. And I don't want them to hate me. I'm scared they'll hurt me for going against them.
Physically?
Not physically, but... Yuri clenches her fists.
Natsuki,
What?
if anyone even thinks to cause you harm,
I will kill them. I have a knife.
I will unleash hell upon them. I have a knife collection, you know. I could easily slaughter them all if I felt like it.
Scared of being a disappointment. Why you gotta attack me like this? Stop saying things that I could relate to. Talk more about your tsundere roommate. That's fun. I don't need to feel called out. Nah. Talk about whatever you want. It's your guys' chat. It's not mine anymore. It's not my chat. But yeah. The thing about being scared to be a disappointment, that's something I struggle with a lot too, so. But, you know, that's one thing I like about streaming, because when I see people who actively seek out my channel and actually feel welcome in chat and like talking about things and stuff, and actually remember all those embarrassing things I said and quote me, that just gives me the feeling that I'm at least doing something right in my life, but even then it's something I still can't fully accept. But once again, just know that I really do appreciate all of it. Just the fact the quotes alone, even if some of them are embarrassing, it really lets me know that people actually care enough about me to remember all those things I said, even if it was forever ago sometimes. And it's just something I didn't really expect when I started the channel. I never expected there to be so many people who actually care. Now I say that now I say so many as like it's 100 people or something. I know I have over 100 followers and stuff, but the actual community who comes to hang out, it's just like a small handful of people, but I appreciate all of you, and you know that. Damn it, I'm getting emotional. That's all because of the emotional music. I need to... I'm just gonna move on. I don't want to get too emotional all the time. And I keep saying that every time I do get emotional, that I just feel like... Every time it happens, I feel like No, I'm moving on from this conversation. I'm moving on with the game. I can't dwell on that kind of stuff all the time. Okay. Natsuki snorts in laughter.
Don't laugh at me.
Sorry, I like that. That's all.
Oh. Well, I meant it.
I know you did. Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look. I needed it. As the conversation lapses, Natsuki again slides her box of cupcakes over to Yuri. Just take them, okay? I want other people to have them anymore.
You sure?
Natsuki nods. I'm sure.
I will then. I'll enjoy them.
Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She holds on to that feeling, knowing it will give her courage. Okay, it's not over, thank God. Fingers. My mind is broken, the fingers are next, come on. Do not break your fingies. As I said, relax your mind and body for a little bit at least. At least try to do that. And maybe that will help. Again, it's just a hypothetical on my end. But sometimes taking a break can actually be beneficial. You have Xbox back, noise.
You're here first today.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought reading material.
Mm-hmm. Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga while her lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book. It sucks when a good series has to come to an end. Like, it's such a big part of your life, and one day there's just nothing left. Makes you feel so empty. Oh, I know that feel.
Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series.
That sucks.
But there's also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go on forever.
Maybe. But there are some things that I wish could.
On the other hand, have you ever read something that overstayed its welcome?
Yeah, definitely. I can think of at least one thing I've read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. Oh, I know that. Darling in the Franxx. But that's watching, not reading. But still, it still counts. Well, it starts off nice. It gets progressively worse, especially in the latest half. And then the ending just... Big yikes. So it sucks when something good has to come to an end, but it also sucks when they just keep inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way.
Well, that's the nature of all things. They come to an end.
The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Oh, funny how they talk about all things must come to an end on the final side story. Oh, they couldn't have picked any more fitting topics to address here, huh? Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all. You don't go out during the weekends, right?
Excuse me?
Like with friends at the mall or downtown or whatever?
I'm not a total shut-in, you know.
Oh, my bad for making assumptions.
Well, I'm sure I go out less than other people like you and the others in the club. I don't really meet with friends or arbitrarily spend time like that. I'm usually meeting with my board game group.
Board game group?
It doesn't matter, it's just more nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyway?
I was just curious. I just realized I couldn't picture it, so I was just curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't look at me like that.
Sorry.
Natsuki pulls her knees into her chest and puts her head down. She ended her relationship with her friends, didn't she? I can't take this.
Did I do something?
Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she may have said or done. I did. I ended it. Yeah. I texted them earlier telling them. And they just blocked me. And I just blocked them because I'm so afraid of their responses. And now it feels like I'm dying inside.
Oh, that's... I'm sorry.
Totally unsure of what to do, Yuri can barely find any words to support to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's unusually hard breathing fills the air. Then she speaks again, barely above a whisper.
Help me. I feel sick and I want to hit my head against things. Please, please help. I can't take this.
You may be having a panic attack.
With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes.
I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay?
Natsuki meekly nods through her rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides herself over to Natsuki, sits on the step behind her. Then she puts her hand on Natsuki's shoulders.
Can you feel my hands?
Natsuki nods, her shaking becomes more and more apparent through Yuri's sense of touch. What was it like when you're having a panic attack? Name 5 things you can see, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can touch, something like that, right? Just start listing a few things and that you can recognize with your senses. Right? That's how you best deal with them, if I remember correctly. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle.
You're safe right now. You're in a good and safe place where nothing can hurt you.
Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck.
We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me.
Translate. Oh, sorry. I just figured. Yeah, it was meant for you, but why did you buy one? Is what it said. Probably going back to your Xbox One remark. I'ma play FNF versus Obamium. I shouldn't be surprised that that's a thing. I really shouldn't be surprised, yet I am. Oh well. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff out there. I try to go for stuff that's at least a little bit more serious. But I can also understand the joke mods every once in a while. They can be fun.
Let's breathe in now.
Yuri takes a deep and slow breath. Beneath her hands, she feels Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together, although Natsuki's breath shakes on the way out.
Well, that's good. Let's keep going.
Yuri breathes in once more and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more on of her weight into Yuri's palms.
Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breaths going in and out, and the weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable space.
Minutes pass in silence. By now, the worst of it has passed, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off her knees and her breathing has mostly steadied. Then she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is.
You don't have to apologize. This must be enormously stressful for you.
Is that going to keep happening?
It may, or it may not. We can take measures to help prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time.
Natsuki motions to sit back down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns over to pick up her open book from the dusty floor, which she had hastily set down earlier. She brushes the dust off the cover.
I don't think I could have gotten through that alone.
You're not alone.
Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own lap. Ah, they're so cute together.
From now on, you don't have to do anything alone.
Are we gonna get another image? No. As she says that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to so openly share her thoughts, but something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps because, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does such a good job at hiding it that it's taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. And because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. If you can keep accepting that for the first time, then perhaps you can begin the tumultuous journey of learning to love yourself. Yes, there we go. Look at them! Do you really mean that? Probably gonna regret saying that if you do.
How so?
Because I'm probably gonna have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. So you're giving me permission to be as annoying as I want and drag you around to a lot of places?
I see. But you already said...
But you already said it, so you can't take it back now.
Oh. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then.
Let's take a quick look here. Look at them. Why? Ah. God, appreciate it. Just appreciate all of it, okay? This is the final this is the final new image we're gonna see, the final new CG, and then that's it. So, gotta appreciate the heck out of it.
Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then.
Mm-hmm. I know a good ice cream place.
Oh? Well, that means you'll finally figure out my favorite ice cream flavor.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't remember? On the first day that you came into the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor, but for me you said you had no idea.
Seriously? I don't remember that at all. I do. I do remember that she talked about that. And I do remember Natsuki's favorite flavor being cookie dough, which is totally understandable. Oh wait, yes I do. I said it was probably green tea. Yuri shakes her head.
It's a good guess, but my favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together.
Chocolate and raspberry? How fancy.
Yes, how is that fancy?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I should have guessed something like that.
Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry. Maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry.
Hey, strawberry is my favorite.
What a coincidence.
I think it helps to have something to look forward to. I still have this sick feeling in my stomach, but it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing.
Is there anything better I could be doing?
Not that I know of. There's nothing that will make this easy for me. And you already did more than I thought anyone could. Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote. But I feel like we're way past that at this point. I don't even know what to talk about. Except that I think it helped me understand my needs a little bit better. The way I like to be treated. And the kinds of friends that I want to have. That's why I wanted to start coming here in the first place, even though I was so scared of causing more problems.
I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially.
Oh, well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Oh? I may have tracked you down first. With the help of Sayori.
That's what you said?
I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Well, I guess I'm glad that you worked up the courage. Even if it wasn't your own way. I can tell that you've been making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave, and it will make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it.
Anyone? You mean, like you?
Yes. Like me.
Oh, look at their faces. Ah. You know, I could get used to this.
As long as you don't tease me too much.
Fine. Just a little then.
That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now, but I really do think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings.
Oh, good things are not in store for the main game. No bad things are coming, and you don't know it. Thanks. Feels nice to be reassured. Thankfully, I did get the happy ending, so haha. The two girls continue their conversation through the remainder of lunch. But a new feeling hangs in the air, a feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. In just a few hours, there will be another literature club meeting where the 4 club members will happily spend time together. Each of them, all of their own special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of each chapter is the start of the next. Yuri thinks to herself, since she's about to finish her long-running series, it would be best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time to visit the bookstore and get Portrait of Markov together. Okay, now give me a second to hydrate and then we'll finish this up. How fitting. I just emptied my H2O. Okay, mail time. Mail time. Staying focused on our goals. Don't use. As a reminder to help guide our data collection, any analysis performed should be focused on answering some of these main questions. How does granting elevated access to the VM affect a person's emotional state? How does granting elevated access to the VM affect a person's values and goals? How does someone effectively navigate an experiment with their ability to change contents of the VM? How is elevated access being weaponized? What actions and values most contribute to the destruction of the universe? Most importantly, how might your observations apply to your own universe, to our own universe? Bonus. How can we present this to upper management as an operation that benefits the company? They're talking about Monica's epiphany, aren't they? Giving her the epiphany? Giving her the access to everything? Is that what's going on? What is this? This is still DDLC. We just finished the final side story, now we're checking the mail in the menu. Why? Unrelated note, whoever changed the color scheme of the desktop to pink, can you please change it back? It's unprofessional and runs the risk of drawing eyes. But I like pink. Ethics. Simply put, it's not our job to arbitrarily decide upon some code of ethics just because we're the first ones to do this, to our knowledge. That's the government's job to figure out, long after we've made enough headway for it to no longer apply to us. It's fundamentally flawed to apply ethical reasoning to this anyway, because humanity's code of ethics is based upon nothing more than our knowledge and understanding of life forms similar to ourselves. We don't have ethics for killing bacteria or plants, only for the creatures that we can convincingly project our emotions onto. The humans in our VMs operate completely differently from us and on a fundamental level, and therefore should not be taken any more seriously than a machine that's programmed to print "I feel sad." We're engineers, not philosophers. Don't make the literature club feel sad. I don't like this. How does the mail fit into everything? Well, apparently it's from the developers of the game, of the visual novel, the ones that gave Monica, who apparently actively chose to give Monica sentience. Also, it appears that Monica has in fact created the main character as a way to interact with the player. So Monica was the one who created the main character so she could have any chance of interacting with a player. The main character wasn't an original creation like the other Dokis. The main character was implemented by Monica herself, interestingly enough. Well, according to a mail, to my interpretation of a mail, hang on. Character discrepancy? A certain character is missing from any mention or appearance. Speculate that it's Monica's meddling is less clumsy than we think. Could it be that the character has this character herself has a way of forcing interaction between her and the user? We're learning a lot of new stuff in here. And apparently the developers are the ones who specifically chose Monica to give her access to everything, which is how she got her epiphany about everything being fake. Interestingly enough. What else we got? Has anyone evaluated the side effects that might be caused by sharing a memory pool between multiple VMs rather than allocating them separately? I'm looking at some of the files VM1 is generating and I'm finding some information that definitely shouldn't be there. Haven't seen any evidence that this is actually affecting the inside of the VM itself, so I don't think it's a priority. But it's definitely worth noting. My best guess is that memory being freed from VM2 is getting zeroed out, which technically gives VM1 access to it. All the info I have will go into the issue tracker, but I wanted to check if anyone else already noticed something along these lines. Ooh, interesting. Checking other versions of the game. Ha ha ha. Okay. Binary data in VM2. Made some new headway of VM2. Don't get too excited, it's still impossible to establish any kind of stable connection. But it occurred to me that I could at least run a memory dump through some pattern analysis routines to see if we can decipher any digital data from the VM. Didn't want to hog all the server time. I didn't want to hog all the server time on a hunch, but I have some preliminary results that indicate the presence of a binary computer system. Based on this, I'm going to schedule 3 days of server time next week to isolate any chunks of memory that appear to be binary data. If successful, we'll definitely be able to find some encoded text and get our first glimpse of VM2. Don't mind me though, just keep going nuts on VM1 and hopefully I'll have more to share soon. I feel like there's much more. Actually, can I check in settings my completion? It says I'm missing 4%. Where's Rob when you need him? Rob, I need help. Gotta check some stuff while I'm here. Finish the side story. Respect, understanding, trust. I believe in you. Get organized. We're in this together. Trust yourself. Natsuki. Else Part 2. Reflection Part 2. Respect Part 2 of Monica. Go to the poems. Actually, yeah, just poems don't really matter because we've read them before. I'm mainly just interested in new stuff. All of Sayori's other poems. Okay, let's read this. This one I think is new. There once was a ladybug. It was so small, it took a really long time to crawl from here to there. It was very tiring to fly for too long. Nobody squishes ladybugs because they're cute. Does that make them better than other bugs? Do ladybugs know they're cute? I think they're too preoccupied with bug things. And so the ladybug crawled around and did bug things. The story wasn't really going anywhere, but I know you don't mind. I hope you think it's fine for being there anyway. Like ladybugs. Like this ladybug. The one who clings like a doof onto your sleeve because it knows you won't squash it. If it doesn't bug you, will you stay a while? Okay, final one. I named my pen the Expression Express. My feelings aboard of a ticket to you. No room for stammers, no lies, no extra stops, no compromise. Station screaming by, attendant saying hi. One ticket to you, please and thank you. Take a headphone and doze. No bumps in the rails, just thumbs in my heart. And loops in my letters, and clouds in the sky, and dreams in your eyes. Hey, wake up, the train has arrived. Expression Express, destination you. Choo choo. Such a Natsuki poem. Yeah, I'm missing two images. How do I get them? Where's Rob? Rob, I need you. Come back. You said you would come back. We've seen all these scenes by now. And that's all that's missing, right? No, there's also one missing down here. What am I missing? Where's Rob? Help. Help me. Yeah, I'm missing one promo image, one sketch, and 2 CGs. Where am I missing them? I've done all the side stories now. Oh, never mind, there's one more. Guess what? The stream will go a little bit longer than 3 hours. Equals. Well, here I was thinking it was over. We are not done yet. It's not worth doing another separate stream just for this one side story, so let's get going. Of course, there would be another side story. Are you guys ready? This is gonna be the final side story.
Okay, everyone. We're gonna be taking a break from the usual activities today. I was thinking, since people are starting to talk about the festival, it's a good time for us to go over the general direction of the club and all that. I think it'll help us figure out what to do for the festival, you know?
Oh, so Yuri and I already came up with a really good plan?
Really? For the festival?
Yeah, so the plan is this, okay? You and Yuri collect information ahead of time on which clubs and classes are doing food booths. Then we take a map and plan the most effective route so we can get the most out of them before the lines get too long.
Hey, that has nothing to do with the club.
No one's around to help. Relatable. Well, I figured it out in the end. I figured out that there was one more side story that just showed up.
Well, you have to let me finish.
Alright, fine, go ahead.
Right, so basically we get all the food we can, then come back here, and we all eat together. That's all.
Wow, I got tricked twice by the same joke.
Boo, don't be a hater. It's not like you can come up with anything better. Look, even Yuri was thinking about it.
No, I wasn't. I would really prefer to do something literature related. We can eat together anytime. The festival is a unique opportunity. Besides, it's been quite a while since we've seen any new interest in the club.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We really got shot at. We really got a shot at showing people what the literature club is all about.
I'll tell you what, we can do both, right? We'll make time for your food mission and still put together a public event.
Oh my gosh, yes! I was just joking, but that's a really good idea.
Well, I'm glad that's settled. I think the question is how to come up with an event that demonstrates everything you can get out of a literature club.
Well, that's kind of tough because everyone gets something different out of the club.
Okay, how about this? Let's go around and have each of us talk about what we've got out of the club so far. That could help us figure out what kind of reputation we want to build.
Yeah!
That's too embarrassing.
Oh, but you have so much to talk about.
Yes, exactly why. And I'm sure Nazi feels the same way.
Well, maybe, but I didn't plan on arguing against it or anything. I mean, it's a literature club. What? We talk about that stuff together, right? And the only way to get more comfortable with it is to suck it up and do it.
Oh, you're not wrong. I'm sorry for being resistant.
It's not good to say suck it up because it sounds like their feelings don't matter.
Right, my bad. It's just a habit I need to break. Well, anyway, who's gonna start?
I'll start. I was the first to join after all.
Wouldn't that be me?
No, I wanna go first.
Fine, you can start. I don't mind.
Yay! So, gosh, it feels like so long ago. I think I joined because I wanted to have fun sharing poems with people. It seemed like it would be a safe way to express myself, you know? Like it's just a poem that I can share without feeling like I'm burdening everyone with my problems. And I thought it would be a really good way to get to know other people too. So yeah, I was really surprised when I walked in and it was just Monica.
Just Monica. Just Monica.
And she was sleeping.
Don't remind me of that, oh gosh.
Yeah, but it seemed like so much fun to help start a new club. Especially since writing helped me so much. I wanted to see it help other people too. But it ended up being me who was inspired. Because I remember feeling like Monica was just so sweet and mature. And that I could trust her with anything. It made me feel a lot less alone having someone who knew about even the bad things about me. And at that point, I knew the literature club was gonna be special for a lot of people.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It really helped give the club a more cohesive vision.
Yeah, and then Yuri joined, but he was so different from us, and Natsuki too. I think for Yuri, it really helped for me to take the lead before she was able to open up a little. But Natsuki was kind of the opposite, where she wasn't ready to really get really close to someone really quickly. I never really thought about that sort of thing. I really felt like I've gotten better understanding people's different needs.
I can't read anymore. The stream has gone on for too long at this point.
That makes me really happy, because my friends are just the most important thing to me. And whatever new members we get, I want to help them in those ways too.
I don't know if I would would have continued coming to the club if it weren't for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I know it wasn't too long ago, but it hurts to think about my behavior back then. I was really short-sighted. The only reason I came was to find others who were into fantasy. I suppose that was my idea of making friends with people. And I remember feeling uncomfortable because you and I have such different energy. I had such a specific idea of the kind of person I could be friends with, so when Sayori tried so hard to get to know me, I just felt like I was just wasting her time. I think I was naive to assume that similar interests were the key component to friendship. Sayori and I were able to be friends because she always thinks about the needs of other people. That's something I never knew how to do or even thought to do. But I stayed in the club thanks to that, and I just started trying as hard as I could to understand people better.
You really went above and beyond when it came to that. I was super impressed.
Well, I always hated that I didn't know how to behave like a person who is easily liked by others, like the two of you can. And because of that, I spent so much time thinking about my own behavior and all the wrong things I said. But at the time, I should have been thinking about other people instead, not myself. Once I started doing that, I was able to make friends with everyone else. I discovered that sometimes I'm a better communicator when I take the time to write rather than speak. It's so strange the way things turned out. It's so far different from anything I ever would have expected, but I'm happy. I suppose we don't always know what we really need.
Oh my gosh! You're so cute that I'm going to throw up!
Okay, please don't do that, Sayori. Besides, I'm not cute.
Hey, isn't that my line?
Oh, well, for me, it's actually true, so...
What are you saying?
Nothing. I finished my parts, so somebody else take that turn.
My heart!
Want to hear something funny? What, my life? No, please. What do you got to say?
So you take some deep breaths.
Okay, fine, I'll go. Yuri, I can't believe you're complaining about doing this and still went before me. What a show off.
They are not. They are not doing that. No, I refuse to believe it. Ain't happening. I refuse. Also, I forgot to say this. Smile, welcome to the stream, by the way. Coming in here towards the end. By the way, we're currently doing the final side story in the game. After this, there's nothing left. We're almost done with the game completely.
I was just following up on Sayori. It was the easiest way to get it over with.
Besides, you left out the most important thing after that you get out of this club.
I did.
Yeah, a regular supply of your favorite cupcakes.
Oh no, I forgot that too! I'm a traitor to the Cupcake Queen!
Neither of you are forgiven. Looks like only Monica will be getting cupcakes next time.
No!
I can't eat that many cupcakes.
Yeah, true, only Yuri can. Well, anyway, I'm just putting off talking.
I still refuse to believe it, even if you put a link here. You know what? Just to prove that you're wrong, I'm gonna look at it. That has to be a parody account, right? No, that has to be a parody account. I still refuse.
It's kind of hard to talk about this stuff, but I guess what it comes down to is that I'm in a much better place mentally than when I was first joined. And that's because everyone helped me realize that I had some really toxic friendships going on outside the club.
Amogus. They can't be doing that. It has to be a parody account. No Amogus.
It was honestly a really painful thing to go through, having to cut them out. It still hurts to think about.
I'm sorry, Natsuki.
It's fine, I knew it was for the best and I was right. I guess for me it's all about feelings. I was only ever ridiculed for having feelings, so I thought the right thing to do was to just ignore them. It took me a really long time to realize that it's not really how things are supposed to work. I guess that thanks to everyone who took the time to respect my feelings even when I was being like the biggest jerk. I'm really sorry for being such a jerk to everyone. I was really the worst. Natsuki's voice chokes a little.
We love you, Natsuki.
I just hate that I was like that. Everyone did so much for me, and I could never do anything in return.
That's not true, Natsuki. You've done a lot more than you think. This club really wouldn't have been the same without you, I mean that. Remember how judgmental I was when you first showed up? It was like I couldn't accept anything other than my own idea of what the literature club was supposed to be. Apparently that was more important to me than the opportunity to bring you some happiness. You really taught me that anything that makes someone happy is worthy of respect. You even inspired me to start playing piano. That's something that means a whole lot to me. So there's no need to put yourself down.
Okay. Natsuki wipes her eyes.
You helped me a lot too. It's so much fun to have you around. And you helped me become a better person. Having a problem doesn't make you needy or inconvenient. It means that there's something that needs to be better for you. And you always deserve that.
I agree. Seeing us have some of the same struggles made me a better person as well. I wouldn't want to change anything about our time here. I don't think any of us would.
I'm sorry I got all dramatic again. So I wanted to say so Monica can go now.
There's no need to apologize. It was something I wanted to talk about anyway because it made a big difference for me. I was always such a strict perfectionist who never took enough time to believe in the best of other people, but everyone kept proving me wrong. I made the mistake multiple times thinking that my way was the best for everyone, or thinking that I was needed to solve everyone's problems. But I think being a leader means that you have to acknowledge that you're not perfect, and that the best thing you can do is to help guide people rather to do everything for them. We're all good people, we're all equals, and I think that's the most important thing we've gotten out of the club, realizing what that really means. So Yuri, what are you doing?
I just thought that we should be writing some of these things down.
Stop it with the Amogus. No Amogus. Not here. Not on my watch. Watch me ban you. I wouldn't. Still.
Things about the club are valuable to us.
With a piece of chalk in her hand, Sayori writes the word trust on the chalkboard.
This is because you showed me that I could trust you with everything about me. Not just my good side.
Why no Amogus? Because I have horrible flashbacks to Friday Night Assassin right now. And I wanted to forget that ever existed. And if you don't know about that, then don't look it up. It's horrible. It's cringe. It's a cringe fest. It's not that I dislike the game, by any means. Well, it's hard to dislike a game you've never really actively played. Like, at all, but yeah. You were there, yeah, okay. See? See, my memory's already bad. My memory's always horrible, so that's really no excuse. Anyway. Suddenly Yuri takes a piece of the chalk as well. She writes understanding.
I owe a lot of gratitude to everyone who took the time to understand me, even though it was so difficult for me to express myself.
In that case...
Monica takes a piece of chalk as well and writes the word respect. All the different side stories are coming together now.
I always thought I was a respectful person, but it took the club for me to realize that there was much more to it than I thought, and I'm a better person because of it.
I have another one!
So he writes balance.
Sometimes people want different things out of a friendship, or they need time before they are ready to become close. It's important to keep things balanced between you and the other person.
That reminds me.
Yuri writes reflection.
I've always been a reflective person, but most of it has been nothing more than hating myself for all the things I thought I did wrong. Once I started reflecting on other people and not just myself, a lot of things changed for me. So I think that's the most important one for me.
That's great. We have a whole list of things now.
Suddenly everyone turns to look at Natsuki. Well, everyone took all the chalk? Don't look at me like that, jeez.
You could have just asked.
Monica hands her a piece of the chalk. Then Natsuki sighs and writes self-love.
I don't know how far I've gotten with it yet, but feels like things are at least on the right track. So, there, that's my contribution.
Yeah, my eye, turn it vertically and tell you what it looks like? I don't know what you mean. I don't see anything. Turn it and tell me what it looks like. It would look weird. Together, everyone stares at the words on the board.
Wasn't this club supposed to be about literature?
Yes, it is. We still do a lot of literature. Friendship and literature.
Yeah, you're right. Friendship and literature.
Natsuki and Yuri gently nod as well.
Hey, let's all take a picture together. We don't have one yet, right?
Hey, you're right. Make sure you send it to me after.
Oh, wait, can I brush my hair first or something?
Oh, you're fine. You already have the best hair out of all of us.
Everyone get together. I can fit you all in. Oh, okay. Okay, everyone ready? And click.
What does it look like? Let's see. All of them together. Oh, we don't get to see? Oh.
I'm really glad we talked about this stuff. It's easy to forget how far we've come with only 4 members.
Yeah. I have so many happy thoughts right now.
Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. Oh no.
I'm getting some really good inspiration for a poem.
You know, I feel the same way. I kind of want to get some writing done.
Me too.
I think I would like that as well.
Everyone's looking at me again. I'll do it too, but I might not feel like sharing it.
That's okay.
The 4 members of the literature club disperse and return to their desk, each equipping themselves with a pen. Natsuki and Yuri give each other a quick glance, then start writing immediately. Sayori stretches, then does the same, but Monika is left tapping her pen against the paper, unsure of where to start.
Just move your hand
Monika mouths to herself.
right the way into your heart.
Her mind full of thoughts, memories, and inspiration, Monika navigates past her mental barriers and begins to write. Doesn't matter what, just that it's something new. This feels very much like an ending. We're getting to see all the different places again. That's it! We beat the game! Credits time. So, thoughts. Honestly, I had a lot of fun playing this. I got to learn a lot more about the characters and what happened before the club started. Then again, it might not even be, we might not have even followed the same literature club if we're being honest. It might have been a different one. Because the emails tell us as much as that there are multiple ones. Plus, I think in the beginning it also said that the side stories aren't necessarily connected. So, still. Also, the whole email thing. It's very interesting that there's quite a bit of lore behind it about the in-universe developers of the Dokis and their experiments. Saying like, yeah, we don't need to concern ourselves with how they feel because they're just artificial creations. They don't have feelings like humans and stuff like that. So, that's also interesting in concept. And Monika creating the main character, we learned a bunch of stuff in DDLC+. But I feel like there are still many mysteries left to be answered. Like, seriously, a lot. But I feel like that might be connected to the other game that Team Salvato is working on. Because I know there's another game they're planning to do. that they've been working on for a while. Thank you, dear player, for enjoying our story of friendship and literature. And thank you guys for enjoying it with me. Come on. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the story might get picked up again in whatever other game they're working on. Oh, there's the picture! Look at them all! Friendship and literature. Why is it glowing? Test VM, it's still not done. First mail. Let's move on. We need to have a meeting about our about shifting our focus a little bit. We've reset VM1. How many times now? For real. We've definitely collected as much data as we can from it at this point. We just need to work with what we have and try to increase the stability of our connection to VM2. We're obviously getting spoiled by the ease of access that VM1 offers us, but it's just unrealistic for someone in real life to be granted a level of elevation even close to monitor kernel access if we can't establish a stable connection to VM2. How can we expect to get anywhere when the same scenario inevitably occurs into our own universe? Huh? Anyway, thanks to Rose's work, we were able to acquire a few rudimentary logs. We have an idea on how to increase connection stability to VM2 while maintaining weak hypervisor access to everyone inside on the individual basis. Ironically, it has to do with something that they're building in their own VM. I'll go into detail in a more formal report, but some of the log files indicate attempts of theirs to pull together the access potential of multiple individuals into a single parallel unit. It sounds ridiculous, but if they actually get somewhere with it, then we might have a solid entry point that doesn't heavily intrude upon the VM. Going to spin up a read-only hypervisor that we can use to test different ideas like this. The elevation level will be set to monitor adjacent runtime level access. The VM will just be named test VM for now. Although the parallel processing unit they're building in the VM seems to be called Project Libitina. There it is. These are the words. According to the few logs we have, we can change the name once we actually get a decent picture of it. Oh, it's... How long have we waited to get more information about this? Test VM. An idea like... To test different ideas like this. Like what? Like multiple individuals into a single parallel unit. Am I prepared to find out what we're gonna see? Probably not. I'm probably not prepared. That they don't mean like fusing the Dokis, right? They wouldn't. Achievement unlocked breakthrough. That seems nice. I am worried. Mobilization without risking permanent damage. That doesn't look promising so far. Come on. Connection lost. You can't do this to me. Try again. Can you try again? I'm gonna be sitting on the screen for a bit. You can't tell me connection lost. Do something. It seriously just crashed? Let's try again. It looks different this time. It already looks different. I think we have to just try opening it multiple times. Is the increased potency from proximity to others temporarily affect, or does it have a lasting impact on the strength of their third eye? Connection lost. Third eye! It's all connected to Project Libitina. Let's go. Again. Connected. Tempting to decode. You can do this! Changes in physical appearance, however small, already prove this is to be more than the usual spiritual nonsense. Project Libertina in action! The lore! The lore! I'm excited for lore! Oh my god, now I need more! Gradual changes to the scripture class curriculum to incorporate something. I am not done yet. Keep going, keep going. We'll find something out. Someone's probably pieced all of this together, but I won't be the one. Because I am not a theorizer. I'm just a casual gamer who enjoys some DDLC. Gradual changes to the scripture class curriculum to incorporate. That's the same. That's the same text. No, please, you can't tell me that's all I get out of it. Please, there has to be more info. Please? The nexus extends beyond any comprehension of the material world. Before I run it again, let me just check some stuff again. Pictures? Do I now have the missing stuff? I feel like I'm still missing one CG. No, never mind. It's just two of them. Oh my god. Of course, they took a silly one. Okay. Just going down, just making sure I've got everything. No, I'm still missing a sketch. Aha. I'm still missing one sketch. I feel like I can find it if I just keep going. I'm missing one sketch. I'm so close to completion. Come on. I'm so close. I'm missing one sketch image. Please. Please give me. Will ascend to bring salvation to all. May the third eye... something. Okay. I feel like this is the key. The key to unlocking the final thing is in here. Maybe I just need to see all the text it can bring up. Maybe. But I'm not sure. But my third eye shows me two of them. Can't make sense of something. This is interesting. Ah. Angel in mortal skin. She will walk the path to ascension, and we will follow. Definitely very religious stuff going on here. I can tell that much. Oh. Is anyone else so as excited as I am over this bunch of random dialogue we're seeing? Well, not even dialogue, but these random pieces of text. Anyone else excited about this? Even though I have no clue what any of it could potentially be alluding to. All your base are belong to us. Not done yet. Where? Come on. Nothing so far. Are speculated to improve the third eye potency by puberty. The new something. We're still getting new text, so I feel like there's something of importance in here. I'm still missing one final sketch, and this is the only other thing I can do, I feel like. There's nothing else for me to do, I think, probably. Meaning the final sketch has to be unlocked by this somehow. Indicates only 80% or less of nutrients and medical supplements are needed to keep the body alive, compared to the non-amputated control. This is definitely connected to the book Yuri was reading, Portrait of Markov. Definitely. Cutting off limbs and affixing them to something, because I remember her talking about that stuff. And now they're talking about amputated stuff, also third eye stuff, yeah. Ventilation ducts in the basement. Also needed are airtight containers which can serve as both storage and dispensary of the ether. What is this stuff? My curiosity is piqued, but I feel like I won't get any answers out of this. Maybe the final sketch will actually prove to be somewhat useful, but I don't know. Help. Any theorists in chat? Adulthood to receive professional training in something. So powers increase by if potency increases by puberty, and in adulthood they will receive professional training about the third eye. Okay. So I'm piecing some stuff together. Still, I feel very clueless when it comes to deciphering this. Opening the third eye creates a deep brain channel which causes sentient characteristics such as consciousness to free thought to something. To what? To disappear? Consciousness and free thought have to... What is hidden in here? Come on, show me something of importance. Imagine if in the end it just connects fully and doesn't lose connection. Tests focusing on each of these emotional responses to determine which... Okay, so I'm guessing they're putting different candidates through different emotional states and trying to see which one the third eye and everything is most potent in. Like, is the third eye more potent when someone's angry or stuff, maybe? Or scared? Maybe that's what they're testing? Huh. Fascinating. Fascinating indeed. Are my children the opportunity? We're still getting new dialogue. We're still getting new text. We're still getting new text. It has to be. This has to be to finish the game. The final part of finishing the game has to be written in here. I just have to read this stuff, and that'll give me 100%, surely. Absolute genius and has made incredible contributions to Project Libitina, despite having no third eye. Interesting. It's a little bit annoying that I have to get in here every time, wait for this entire wall of encrypted text to appear, only to get one line out of it. Hey Ivanov, if you're still here, you're a master at encryption. Anything to say about this? List of which rooms will need doors and windows renovated to accommodate the project increase in something. Because yeah, Ivanov, you're the master of encryption. Not like this would seem familiar to you, but I mean, I could just ask. Yeah, I figured as much. There's the line about the children again. Okay, we're getting some repetition now. We've had one line repeat itself before. But I feel like there has to be something in here. I'm still missing one single sketch. Wouldn't just put this here randomly. There has to be a purpose to it. There has to be. Name implies death, but of what? Only the material self. Our mission to become free of the material self is... Okay, that seems very dark. Death of the material self. Yeah, of course, yeah, just... Yeet me out of existence. Anything else you want to add? Or are you gonna repeat yourself again? Meters in diameter, so that's a 0.5 meter gap between each body. Well, I am unsettled and confused, but I also... Can't you just give me the entire block of text or something? Please. Should seek purpose. Purpose ignites a will to live, a will to suffer for a greater good, maybe? That's probably very boring. I probably won't be rating anyone after this because I feel like most people are gonna tune out by the time I'm done with this. So it's not even gonna be worth rating anyone if no one's gonna be sticking around. But who knows, if for some reason people start showing up again towards the end, then I will consider rating someone, but it doesn't look like it, let's be honest here. The key to opening a powerful channel lies in eroding the tether between... Between what? Anyone been able to piece it together yet? Probably MadPad on Game Theory, yeah. That dude always has everything under control. Who don't have a third eye struggle to understand what current science cannot tell them. I am disregarding the maybe disregarding the genius who doesn't have a third eye, or disregarding the genius's advice. Just because, you know, no third eye. Hello? Outer and inner cylindrical shells, openings to opposite sides such that they will rotate to create an entrance. Did we code binary data? Have given him the title Guardian to reflect something. Okay, this is interesting, but I already know that this is all this is gonna do is give me more questions. There's not gonna be a single thing in here that answers any of my questions. It's gonna make me curious about Project Libitina. Anyone else curious about that? Or is it just me? Can't be just me. Have died so that those most worthy will be able to ascend. They're choosing worthy people, quote unquote worthy, doesn't sound very nice. But I guess I should have expected as much from what I read up until now. These people are definitely doing experiments, and that is not nice. I do not like them. Project Libitina sounds scary. Please give me more text at once. It takes forever to get a single little chunk of text. Yeah, again, third time we had repetition text. Let me just, you know what, let me just check real quick. Because it should tell me how to unlock the sketch. No, it only tells me once I've unlocked them. It doesn't tell me what I need to do to unlock them. Oh, that's bad. Nothing appeared in the files, right? No. Settings? It's telling me I have 100%, but that doesn't make sense. Because it's telling me I have 100%, but I'm missing this. Can't be. I can't have 100% if I'm still missing something. Like, what do you want from me, game? What am I supposed to do here? And why is Rob not here when I need him? I'm gonna try a few more times to see if anything happens in here. Rob, where are you? You said you would come back. I feel betrayed. Backstabbed. You were the expert and you knew this was the final stream. Yeah, no, that's another repetition. I feel sad now. Abandoned. I am abandoned. I'm gonna have to figure this out by myself or give up. Like, seriously, I'm gonna give up eventually. Yeah, that's another repetition. I feel like we've seen all of it now. I feel like we've seen all the text in here now. And I still don't know how to unlock that one sketch. But it's telling me I have 100%, so I guess all I can do is just believe it. And just face the fact that for some reason that sketch can't be unlocked. Don't ask me why. But if it's telling me I have 100%, like, data collected 100%, but that's not unlocked. Welp. I guess that's it then. You know what? There are 3 people here. I think it might be worth doing a raid. You know what I'm gonna do? Hang on. I'm gonna try one more thing before we go, okay? Are you serious right now? Open. Well, the thing I wanted to try was closing and reopening the game, but it doesn't want to open anymore. Well, that's worrying. Why does the game not want to open anymore? Let me try to open it via Steam. Hang on a second. It says it's launching. Let's cancel and try doing it. Ah, there we go. Okay. Well, that was slightly worrying. Why did it not want to open anymore? Well, let's just see if this somehow works. And that did not do anything. Well, I tried. Again, I have 100% completion at this point. Rebooting did also not unlock the missing sketch, so we shall instead do something that I feel like would be very nice to do, which is... Oh, look at that! Echo is live. Well, in that case, since Echo's the only person live who is on my list right now, we're gonna be heading over to Echo. And I will see you over on Echo's stream. If you are willing to accompany me for a little bit. So see you over there, and thank you for watching. And this was the final DDLC stream, which makes me sad. But we'll play DDLC mods again in the future, don't worry about that. But we'll take a short break from DDLC up until then. So thanks for watching, and I will see you around for whatever else we'll play in the future. So yeah, bye! Okay.